Good evening. I assume you are here to join my employers on their upcoming investigation. They are just about ready to set sail, so allow me to get you quickly informed so you can catch up to them. Last time, the investigators took several months off to rest and handle various personal affairs, including sorting out their organization's strategies going forward. They received a missive from a man named Oscar Udgren, a priest from the fishing village of Fjallbacka. He requested they investigate the death of his friend and mentor. It was deemed a suicide, but he insists a supernatural force is at work on the nearby Wrecker Isle. The investigators suspected a mundane case of foul play until their new ally, Officer Devin Larson, showed them a photo of the Isle's most notable figure, Abella Admundson, known as the Godmother. In the photo, Abella had a tattoo on her arm of the scorpion and skull symbol that has become so familiar of late, the symbol of Venenum Amantes, a pro-Vaesen cult the investigators have encountered several times now. With renewed interest, the investigators made their initial preparations. Constance traveled ahead to embed herself among the locals on Wrecker Isle, and Galen purchased a large warship for the journey. Now, ready for anything, they make their way to Fjallbacka at the start of a new case. And this is where the story continues.
Good evening, fellow geeks. Welcome back to Vaesen. It's been a couple weeks. We have missed you all greatly, but we're back to jump into a new mystery tonight. So welcome back, everybody. Before we jump into details about this very fun and exciting game, let's talk about the very fun and exciting people we have playing in it. We'll go around the table. I've been jumping Tori with surprise intros. I'm not going to do that today. I'm feeling calm. I'm feeling chill. So let's start with Bill today. Bill, you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
So I'm Bill. I am a podcaster. You can go and check out stuff that I do. Go and check out Escape This Podcast. Go and check out Solve This Murder if you like murder mysteries. Go and check out Play This Game _live here on Twitch if you want to play. I just started doing a Radical Red run with my wife. Ooh. It's insane. People don't know Radical Red. It's a Pokemon ROM that's just an incredibly difficult version of Pokemon where you have to like really focus on crazy strategies and all the AI is changing and swapping, and they'll be like, here's Brock. Oh, you thought you could be Brock, but too bad he's got a lightning Geodude. You're like, what are you talking about? That's not even possible. It's crazy. Whoa. It's so much. It's difficult. It's really hard. I'm up to the very first. Before Brock, you got to beat Faulkner, and he's impossible. He's got an Emolga. What kind of bird guy has an Emolga? It's ridiculous. Don't play it. It's great. So you can check all that out. I'm playing Galen Fushkera, who is a very, very wealthy lord, and now a new pirate king. He is the pirate king. He is, hurrah for the pirate king. Galen, he's got a big boat now. You saw it in the recap. Fun fact about Galen, this is obviously not his first time on a ship. Growing up, he actually was on ships a lot. His father was an academic. They weren't super wealthy back then. A lot of Galen's wealth he made during his lifetime, but they were still well off compared to other people. And his father didn't want him to go into the world completely just like devoid of that working spirit. And so apprenticed him onto a fishing ship for like 2 years as a kid. And Galen hated every second of it and has not been on a boat since, but now he gets to be captain. And he's much more excited about the whole situation.
Now you get to tell other people to swap the deck.
Yeah, exactly. Most of those 2 years was just deck swabbing and net hauling, and he didn't enjoy it. There you are. That's Galen Fushkera.
What a great intro for both Bill and Galen. Thank you very much. All right, moving on. Em, tell us about yourself and about your character.
Hi, my name is Em, and I am currently writing a TTRPG that we are tentatively calling Vi. It's very cool. It's instead of taking on the role of Arthur with Excalibur, you take on the role of people like Merlin, who are on a quest to get the Sword of Legend. It's very fun, and more information to come. As for my character, I
So
am.
it was so specific when you like instead of taking on the role of Arthur, it's like, what are you taught? Why would I play a man named Arthur? I didn't realize who you would. It was just came out of nowhere. Like everybody always plays a guy
Everybody
called
knows
Arthur
about this
whenever they're
guy
doing
named
RPGs.
Arthur, right?
Everybody's playing Arthurs all the time. In my
Everybody
game,
knows
you can't call
Arthur.
yourself Arthur. No names that start with A. That's the only rule.
Everybody's playing Alfred in this game, okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're great. But I'm playing Katrina, Officer Katrina Nordenflicht. She's an amazing, brave, strong, brain-damaged woman who has recently started writing her very own self-insert romance novel. Fun fact.
And to clarify, the brain
Whoa.
damage was dealt by a dragon a couple of sessions ago.
I mean, yeah.
Actually, it was technically dealt by Galen, who was enchanted by a dragon. But...
Well, yeah, he kind of just, yeah, it was a problem, but it's fine.
That counts as the dragon.
yeah, you guys can watch a couple episodes back on YouTube for that.
And also Katrina's first mate.
Fantastic. Love it. Very good. All right. Thank you, Em. Good intro. Good intro. Let's move on to Tori. Tori, tell us about yourself. Tell us about Constance.
Hello, my name is Tori. I am part of the Level 1 Geek crew, and I am playing Constance Doyle, who is the private investigator of this group. She has actually gone on ahead, so will not be participating in this pirate ship shenanigans, unfortunately. But she's going ahead to kind of blend in with the locals, pass herself off as just someone rolling into town with all of the laborers and fishing crews and whatnot. Since we're all talking ships and sailing, my fun fact is one that mirrors real life. I'll say that Constance is very prone to seasickness and has not enjoyed the trip to Wrecker Isle.
Snap.
She will be very glad when she sets foot back on solid ground once more. And yeah, easy peasy. Good. Em, did you share your fun fact? Did my brain just like blank out?
Self-insert romance novel is being written.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Thank you, Tori. All right, last but not least, Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Robert?
Hey, I'm Matt. You can find me everywhere as Improv and RPG. And I'm playing Robert, the servant to Galen Friscara, who now, like I'd imagine that as he embarks on this massive ship, he's getting some flashbacks to back when he was a kid, and he would always look at the ships in awe. Because he remembers reading some tales, specifically about Captain Hook. And when he read those tales, he always thought of Captain Hook as being his favorite. And so now this time he gets the chance to embark and pretend to be Captain Hook. He's looking, I would imagine, anywhere, everywhere for a hook. Where do you find a hook? Where even? So I imagine that like he has like a makeshift hook that he's made out of like some paper clips. But every now and then when no one's looking, he just pretends to be Captain Hook. He's got a little bit of the red already. But he also has like an alarm clock that he sets at random times just so it'll freak him out so he can really, really embody the role. But yeah, that's Robert.
Fantastic. Excellent. That is
Do you
our
also
awesome...
bully the young teenage boys on board the ship who are working as part of the crew?
Actually, that is part of his new responsibilities because Rob is the bosun. And as the bosun, he has to bully the crew.
Let's go. Load the cannons. Load them again.
Yeah.
That
Swab
is
attack! Deck the
amazing.
swabs!
Yes.
All right. Yeah, that is our awesome group of players that we have. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining tonight. I am Chase. I'm the game master for this campaign. That is enough said about me. Also, a shout out behind the scenes. We have Katie / Kim running the stream for us tonight, doing production, taking care of your chat interactions, and just making sure that things run smoothly. So big thank you to them for helping make this run tonight. I would also like to give a thank you to Knights of Bastille. If you guys see our beautiful character art that we are using here, that is from their app, NPC for Hire. You guys can download it for free on Apple or Android store, and you can use similar character art for your games at home. A bunch of the art is free. Some of it is premium. It is all very cool, and I highly recommend it. So big thank you to them for letting us use the character art for the stream. And then I would also just like to give a big thank you to all of you in chat. You guys are dishing out some bits. You guys are doing some subscriptions. You guys are chatting and having a good time, and that means that we are having a good time. So thank you so much for showing up tonight, everybody. Speaking of thank you to you guys, let's talk about some of the things you guys can get for some of that love that you're showing. We do have some chat interactions for this series. We have these dice pools, which you can see in the middle under Blessed and Cursed. Those are dice pools that you guys can add to with your channel points. Blessed dice are going to be just a straight up perk. Our players can take them whenever they please to get extra dice on their rolls. And then cursed dice are going to work very similarly. They get an extra dice on their rolls, but the catch is if they succeed, I, as the game master, get to add a twist to that success that I find appropriate, devious, or fun, or all of the above to the situation. So feel free to dish those out as you guys please. We also have a couple of community goals up. You guys can give some channel points as a group collaboratively to try to either add a villain or add an ally to this mystery up ahead. Previous villains have been people such as the person who tried to steal the dragon glass blade from our heroes, or they can be allies such as the doctor who gave magical eye drops to help them against enchantments. So they will be impactful. They will be fun. Highly recommend it. Also, we have sponsorships that we do every session at the beginning. And if you guys would like to have your Twitch tag turned into an NPC and shouted out as a sponsor at the start of our next stream, you guys can do so by either giving bits, subscribing, being Patreon supporters. Just shout it out when you do it, and we'll make sure that we shout out your name as an NPC at the start of the next session as a sponsor. And in fact, we are going to do that right now for last session. So let's go around the table, or you guys can do this as a group. You can do it one by one, however you want to do it. But I'm going to start with you, Bill, and if anybody else wants to chime in, feel free to do so. Let's talk about our sponsors and how you guys are getting assisted for this upcoming mystery.
Yeah, look, I believe we all have the same sort of setup, which is that for me, I have an extra experience point, which I should probably mark down on my character, or I'm going to forget it. So I'm going to do that right as I'm talking right now. I'm going to give myself an experience point. Here I go. Done. And I have a new experience point because of some experience that I'm getting from the wolf. The wolf we've talked with a few times. He's a sort of a shady underground figure, but a cool one, unlike another one that I'll have to name soon. But he's a cool guy. He helps us out. He's ended up in a lot of our adventures, appearing places, being in our castle, and now he's on the ship. The wolf has joined the crew. He's got some experience smuggling things from place to place. He's probably done some smuggling around the archipelago we're going to, and it was very helpful to have him on the ship. And literally, the experience point I'm getting from this is his experience, just talking to him about running a ship, how his experience with crews. He even helped hire a few of the crew that we need to run the ship. He helped get people on board, one of whom I didn't recognize at first, because just like Glenn Close in Steven Spielberg's better, not very good on a rewatch classic Hook, he has covered himself with prosthetic beards and like a fake nose, so I couldn't recognize the wombat. And the wombat has also stuck his way aboard the ship as part of the crew. And the push is getting into my captain's quarters, opening the door, get into the back where there's that large bed behind the window, in front of that window that looks out onto the ocean, and there's the little wardrobe and the desk to write at and all the other fun stuff that you picture in a captain's quarters. There was a lovely note left on there that said, "I'm on the ship, you suck," from the wombat. And I don't know which crew member he is, but I know he's one of them, and I haven't figured out. I don't know his face super well, but however he's disguised it has made this much, much harder. So thanks a lot, Wolf. You betrayed my trust by bringing my small name. Yep. and it's made me angry. And the push just gives me a motive, like, oh, I'm going to show them. I have to succeed to show these people. Now that I know one of the crew is my arch nemesis, I have to show them what a good captain I am. And that's my push and my experience.
I love it. Fantastic. Katrina, what do you have to add on to that?
So mine's pretty different, and it has to do with my fic, if that's cool.
Yeah,
my book, my self-insert book. So basically what happened here is she shared a passage with her romance book dealer, Wombat Fuzz, right? And she was really embarrassed to show him. I was all like, yeah, I know it's not very good. It's my first time. Da, 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 da. But he has pushed her into actually trying to produce this thing. And so she's gonna try. She's gonna write it. She's gonna get her name out there, though she's not gonna write it underneath her name. She's probably gonna write it under like Katrina Lovington. There we go. I figured it out.
I think we could work. I think you could do some work on that one.
Yeah, thanks, Bill.
That's Galen's feedback.
And then, because she has received so many inspiring words from the wolf, she actually wrote to him and asked if he would write the foreword of her book. And so, yeah, that's where that's going to come from.
Fantastic. Love
I
it.
can't think of a better source for forward than a smuggler / thief / dealer.
A sexy smuggler is like the topic of every romance novel. Romance novels are just the sexy versions of famous five novels. They're all about smugglers and pirates and secret caves. I don't know. They were back
Incredible.
in the 1800s.
Agrees.
That's so good. Love it. Tori, what do you got to add on?
So as I said before, Constance is not part of this ship-faring adventure. She's having a little adventure of her own, but Wolf and Wombat always look out for her. I established previously that the wolf knew her brother, Daniel, and has provided her in the past with old letters and things. And for this trip, actually, the wolf left a package for Constance before she set out. The wolf, knowing that Constance is going to have to kind of disguise herself and probably dress down a little bit and look a little rougher around the edges, he just sent some of Daniel's old clothes that he had access to. Constance isn't really sure how he is so closely connected to Daniel, but she has one of Daniel's old shirts, so that will give her a free push. She can lean on him in her time of need. And I think with the XP, we know that Wombat apparently has, I guess, Bill, you didn't quite say Wombat has experienced sailing, but I think we can probably
Well, he does now.
ascertain
He does
that.
now that he's
Yeah,
on the ship.
yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what? Actually, Wombat, preparing his own disguise for boarding the ship, gave Constance a few pointers on sort of how to remain incognito for an extended period of time. So that will give her an additional XP as she heads off to her own undercover mission, albeit probably a little less disguised than Wombat is on the ship.
Love it. Fantastic. All right. Matt, what do you got to add?
Great. Speaking of disguises, I imagine that Robert, after he shed the relationship, any hopes of the relationship with Beatrice, in favor of focusing on dealing with Vaesen problems, focusing so that anyone that he might care about wouldn't get caught up in this sort of madness, in potentially being targeted by these creatures. He does encounter our good friend the Wombat, and in disguise, Robert initially is wondering, wait a second, that beard looks a little off, and I imagine that like the wombat may be excited to see Robert. He immediately breaks cover and we chat a little bit. And Robert fills him in, and that's when the wombat tells him, "Well, there's one way if you want to protect the people you love when you're doing things like this. It's to don a disguise so that they wouldn't be able to tie you to anyone else. They would simply be looking at whatever this disguise is." And Robert starts to think about this, starts to consider what his sort of alter ego might be. And as he's pondering this, I imagine that's where like he's thinking, okay, so I might have a second chance. I might have another chance at potentially forming connections. And that's where I'll justify the push. But as far as the experience is concerned from the wolf, I imagine that as he's walking the deck, as he's thinking about this, as his hopes are beginning to be lifted again, he unfortunately just gets a little bit too close to the edge, right as we hit just some rough waves, and Robert is about to fall over when he's pulled back in by the wolf. And the wolf, I mean, an experienced seafarer, is able to save Robert and tell him, like, if you're going to be lost in thought, you should do that below deck. You should do that where you're secure. A little stumble here and there is fine, as long as you're not lost out there. And then that's where I get the experience from, as Robert is just a little bit wiser and maybe a little bit more wary about the dangers of the sea.
Fantastic. I love that. All right. Well, that is a great tribute to all of our sponsors. So thank you so much, everybody, for supporting the show, the stream, for supporting us, what we do, what we love to do. Much love to all of you. We appreciate you very much. I think that is it for thank yous and stuff before the stream. I don't think I actually mentioned, in case you were not aware, we are playing Vaesen by Free League. The adventure we are playing tonight is my interpretation / twist on the mystery called The Silver of the Sea from A Wicked Secret and Other Mysteries. So if you guys want to pick that up and run this yourself, I highly recommend the book. It is excellent. So thank you to Free League for an awesome game. All right. We had our recap at the beginning of the stream. If you guys want to get any more caught up on the show, we have the episodes up on YouTube. So I highly recommend that you go back and watch there if you are behind. To those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you and welcome. And, don't forget to subscribe and like and follow and share the word. And without further ado, I think we're ready to jump into this adventure tonight. So last time we left off, you guys had finished your preparations and you guys are getting ready to head to the fishing village of Fjallbacka, which is, quite a trip to the directionally dyslexic west, to the west. Constance, you are going on a ship with another crew, and you are going ahead of everybody else. And then Galen, you purchased a large warship, and you are heading out just a little bit behind Constance, correct?
Yes, yeah. I think the idea is that Constance gets there like the day before and can get the. I think it's a fairly short. We don't want to leave her there for a long time. It's dangerous.
Yeah, like
this is
maybe a couple
This is
days.
herring mafia trivia territory. So we're going to follow in like a day later, and arrive and just be a big old ship.
I love it. All right, let's go ahead and let's start with Constance. Constance, you are, well, I mean, I imagine all of you guys are probably traveling most of the way to, well, you guys are probably traveling, I guess, to Fjallbacka together, correct? Because you guys are actually traveling to Wrecker Isle from Fjallbacka, which is a peninsula. And the Wrecker Isle is where you guys will actually need the boat.
Constance opts to travel separate
Okay,
the whole way.
fantastic.
Yeah.
She insists it's because she wants this whole like incognito operation to be just no chance that anyone could detect her having traveled with them. But it's also partly because she does not feel like hanging out on a train with Galen around for that whole time.
Okay, I love it. And then Galen, you purchased the warship. They would have it ready and prepped for you at Fjallbaka after your travels. That way you don't have to take a huge delay sailing it, around the entire continent.
A warship that size, it's probably been built in Copenhagen. We can take the train down to Copenhagen and then sail north.
Love it. Fantastic. All right. So yeah, Constance, we'll start with you. But as you guys are all traveling, partially by train, partially by carriage, you guys have some time to think about the upcoming adventure. You guys have fairly comfortable travels for this adventure, so it's not too uncomfortable. Travel's rather pleasant compared to what you've done the last couple investigations. You guys get to prep your advantages for this mystery. So as a reminder, this is one skill that you get to tell me what you're doing to prepare it, and then during the mystery at some point you can say, my preparations are going to help me with this check because of this reason, and then you get 2 additional dice. We haven't used those a whole lot, so remember that you have this. It can come in handy in a pinch. But yeah,
I always forget.
Yeah, it's a tough one to remember. Does anyone have an idea in mind of what they want to prepare for their advantage? I'll start with you, Katrina.
Oh,
you are muted, I believe.
Oh no, I don't even know when that happened.
There we go.
I would like to train with my hunting dog, Odin, for tracking purposes. So I'm going to raise my investigation with the dog.
Excellent. So you like hanging out in the back cargo portion of the train where they keep the animals and
yeah. So I'll actually
visits.
let Odin out every now and then after I've made a trail with like some sweaty sailor's shirt that they volunteered to give to me, and then the dog would track it throughout and find people.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. So make sure you note that down on your character sheet. Remember, you've got it. And then we'll go clockwise. Yeah, we'll go with Matt next.
All right. So I'd say that in the course of teaching these wayward teens, swabbing the decks and loading the cannons, Robert, he normally, the way he deals with things is through his fists, but now it's like a matter of trying to boost people, trying to get people excited about what they're doing, even if it's very gross. So in this case, my advantage is going to be, and maybe with a little bit of nudging from the wolf and the wombat every now and then, just some encouragement when Robert's feeling down and feels like he wants to kick someone's ass. They're able to hold him back and say, all right, this is how you would do this. So my advantage is going towards inspiration, the ability to maybe push someone to give someone courage in a moment.
I like it. Very good. Excellent. Note that down on your character sheet. And Constance, what are you preparing ahead of time?
I think Constance is just really pretty paranoid on her whole trip. Since she's traveling alone, she knows that they're headed toward like a family that's obviously associated with this Scorpion and Skull organization that has just kind of shown up in the most unexpected places and ways, and so she's just a little cagey on the way there, and so her advantage is vigilance. She just gets down like a good routine of watching her own back, since she is traveling by herself, and making sure she's not being followed, making sure people aren't looking at her weird, all of that kind of stuff. So her paranoia is going to come in handy.
Excellent. I love it. Now, do you want to boost your vigilance with that or your fear? Because fear is actually a boostable skill in this.
Whoa.
I can boost my fear? Like, what do you mean?
Like you'll get the extra dice against a fear check, yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I want to do that because I think what plays into this is her interaction with the amulet that she has. That is the scorpion and skull thing. She kind of
Right,
is.
you have the amulet. I
Yeah.
forgot. Okay.
Yeah, I have
Oh
it,
my
and I think
gosh.
she, in her downtime too, and this is continued out of her downtime, she's sort of experimented with it a little bit here and there, just kind of feeling out that connection and kind of trying to figure out better how it works and like how to tap into it. So, and you described it last time almost like a child or like something kind of
The
needy
kind of emotional
and
connection you feel with it. Yeah.
yeah. So she's a little freaked out by that, but also doesn't want to get rid of it. So anyway, just the whole vibe is very strange, and so yeah, I'll put it onto my fear check, I guess.
I like it. Do you wear the amulet, or do you just like keep it in a pocket or a satchel?
Oh gosh, what a good question. I think she does not wear it around her friends.
Okay.
Because they don't know that she has it. So she keeps it very much tucked away whenever she's like at the castle or around them. But I think when she's alone like this on this trek, I think she'll go ahead and wear it, but it's tucked under everything. She doesn't wear it openly.
Okay. Yeah, and as a reminder, your eyes have gone back to normal, but every time you tug on that or you feel a connection with it, your eyes kind of flare back up to that orangish glow. When you wear it, you notice you get just the slightest little sparkles and embers of orange mixed in with your natural eye color. It doesn't scream supernatural or anything. It looks actually quite pretty, but it is noticeable when you look in the mirror that when you wear it, you can see just a flicker of those embers.
Okay. Yeah, and I imagine a lot of this trip has been her kind of almost like experimenting too with the eye color thing. Like, how long does it last? Okay, and when I did this, my eyes changed, and when I did this, it didn't. And just her trying to just figure out how it all works.
Excellent. I will also, because of the nature of your description, sorry to give you with more options, you can also boost your magic as your advantage if you would like, which is not normally an advantageable skill, but it is in this instance with your preparation.
Damn.
Okay, Chase, if you're gonna dangle that in front of me, how can I not take it? All right, I'll do that.
Okay, fantastic. All right, Galen, what are you going to prep for your advantage?
What type of ship did we buy in the end?
So you bought a large warship. I said it was a man-o-war style ship, but then I did my research over the last couple of weeks, and that is actually a later era ship. So it's like a frigate, large warship, the pre-man-o-war.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve out some space in our ship for storage, right? A lot of these ships, traveling, you need storage for food, for other things. And I'm going to put in a purchase order with the herring salteries on Wrecker Isle and surrounding places as well. And I'm going to buy like 100 tons of salted herring. Something like that,
Uh-huh.
Maybe 50 tons, a big order, right?
Okay, yeah.
The current price, for people who are wondering, of a ton of preserved Canadian herring is about $3,400 a ton, which is kind of pretty cheap for
That is kind of cheap.
prices.
That's like right
So I'm
now,
thinking-
like modern
and
day.
And the carry, yeah, right. That as of like 2020,
Wow.
probably more now. The carrying capacity of like a galleon, which was very large, is 500 tons. But that's a big trading ship. Trading/warship. That's pretty big. So maybe we don't have it. Maybe I'll buy like 50 tons. Just put in a big order for 50 tons of salted herring. It's a delicacy. Norway loves their salted herring. A lot of good traditional dishes. I'm going to do that. I know that's the main industry of this area, and I'm doing that to give myself an advantage to manipulation at some point, because I'm the guy who just spent thousands and thousands of krona on big. I'm an important client by now. So when I arrive, I'll be able to throw my weight around just a little bit. So I've got an advantage at some point because I don't need to reveal necessarily that it's me, right? That's why I can hold this advantage. And someone will be like, look in your books. Did you see the name Fosquera? That's right. That's me. I'm the same Fosquera. I am your biggest client. And they were like, oh, Mr. Fosquera, of course. Here, have 200 tons. I only ordered 50 tons, weren't you listening? So we'll see. But I've put in a huge order for salted herring.
Okay.
And
I
I'll
love
make
it.
money out of it. I'll take them back. It's not a bit. Like I'll take
Oh,
them back and
yeah,
I'll sell them.
no,
I own food dispensaries in Stockholm. It should be fine. We'll get the food out to people. There'll be some profit made.
Yeah, all part of business.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But
All right.
that's
I
where we're
love it. Great. All right. There's our advantage phase. So let's go ahead. Let's jump into the scene. So, Constance, we're going to start with you. You arrive by carriage early morning at Fjallbacka on the archipelago. And I've moved the map here so you guys can kind of see distance-wise. Fjallbacka is this city right here on the end of this peninsula.
Nice.
And down to the southwest, down here, is Wrecker Isle. So it's a good distance away. It's going to be a good portion of a day's trip to Wrecker Isle. And when you get to Fjallbacka, Constance, are you going to meet with the contact who sent you the letter, or are you just hopping straight to Wrecker Isle?
Ooh. I feel like some table talk here is okay since I feel like we would have talked about this. Do you guys want me to meet with him, or do you want to do that?
I think it makes sense for you to meet with him.
Okay. And kind of let him know, like, hey, I'm here, but
Yeah, figure
be
out what's
cool
going
about
on.
it. Okay. Okay.
Excellent. So
We'll go meet with Oscar.
yeah, you arrive.
And just should be sure, Chase, his name is not August, right?
No, it is. Oh, I said Alfred. I even messed up August when I tried to say August earlier. I just can't. That's my mythic weakness of names. All right. Yeah, so I mean, there was a point of contact established with your correspondence in the letter you received. And you can see that he is waiting for you when you arrive. This is what he looks like.
Goodness,
Oh,
he
don't
looks
mix that
like
guy.
a pleasant fellow.
Doesn't he, though?
Can we call
looks like-
him the Jaw?
Wow.
What
It looks like
about
he's being played by
bowl cut? Look at that hair.
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah, I can see it.
Goodness.
All right.
That's a Jonathan Rhys-Meyers guy.
Yeah, so he's wearing a priest's robe, and he will approach you as he sees you exit the carriage. You must be Miss Doyle.
Wow, he's creepy, Chase. Okay. So,
Can you
I don't like
do
him.
a Jonathan Rhys-Meyers impression for us, please? Can you just do like
I
an
can't,
Irish, like
for
an
the
Irish
life of
accent?
me, think of what he sounds like.
Okay.
It's like, you remember Bender like Beckham? You remember Bender
He
like
was
Beckham?
in
Just-
August
just-
Rush.
Don't you remember
I
BBC
am.
adaptation
Okay.
Gormenghast, where he played Steerpike? Steerpike in Gormenghast? Come on.
Irish accent, right?
Yeah,
my
make him
gosh.
Irish.
Miss Doyle, is it?
Yes. Mr. Oh gosh, I had his name written down.
Udgrin.
Yes, Udgrin. I'm sorry, the journey has been quite long.
That's not a problem here. Please, would you like to join me at my abode? We can talk about business and plan ahead.
Certainly, lead the way.
He'll nod and he'll walk you over to a house nearby. And as you're walking, so Miss Doyle, you're part of the society?
Yes, I arrived a bit early to hopefully lay some groundwork for our investigation. You see, while I'm here, I won't be going by my proper name, Constance Doyle. It's quite all right, of course, if you call me that in private. But I will be making an effort to embed myself amongst the common laborers on Wrecker Isle to get a inside look.
Undercover, I understand. Well, that seems wise. And I'm glad to hear that it's not just you, not that you don't seem like capable.
Oh, no, just wait until tomorrow. We have an entire galleon arriving. Don't you worry.
That is comforting. A galleon, you say? Would it be that one over there? And he gestures off to the shore. There's a very large warship that is docked here that is creating quite a stir of people walking by and admiring it.
That
Is it
wouldn't
us?
be ours, right? Because they haven't arrived yet.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's gonna arrive ahead of Galen, I imagine. If you
Oh,
ordered it there,
because
yeah.
we're on shore And
Yeah.
you guys are going to take it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. That looks like the one. I can't imagine they have a great deal of warships coming through here.
Do you think a warship is really necessary?
To be honest, it is not up to me, and my opinion, frankly, doesn't matter on this case. Galen, my employer.
I will be traveling on that with you.
Well, not with me, but with the rest of the society. Yes, I believe so.
I've never been a man of violence. I don't know how you feel traveling upon such a vessel, but I
Well,
suppose
with
the
any luck,
situation
I don't
calls
think
for
we
it.
will be needing all of those cannons, or hopefully not any of them. But in fact, I do have to attest that sometimes having a cannon can get you out of quite the scrape.
Well, you're the experts here. Are you a woman of God, Miss Doyle?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
That is very comforting. I wouldn't want to combat sinners with more sinners, after all. Isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely not.
This is
We
my
are
abode
all
here.
upstanding, faithful members of the
Appropriate church.
yes. Of
Go
the herd, as it were, of the good shepherd.
Good Christians. He'll open the door and he'll gesture you into his house. And this is a pretty nice house. It is small and humble, but compared to Alfred's home, which you just came from on your last job, this is very nice. It is fully furnished. There is food in a fully functional kitchen that you can see. There's 2 floors. It's quite nice. He has some food and some drinks set out at a table already. He'll pull a chair out for you.
May I ask, are you part of the Rosenbergers?
Rosenbergers. Doesn't sound
Is that
familiar.
the name of the organization, Chase? That we're okay.
Yeah, that's what's kind of similar to the society.
But they're kind of religious, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they were Danes. This guy's a Norwegian. He hates the Danes. We all hate the Danes.
I guess he doesn't. Well, do you have the sight, the ability to detect devils and demons and that sort?
Oh dear. Perhaps. I feel like I've seen my fair share of spirits and God's work, but never heard of it called the sight. I don't recall that being referenced in the Bible.
That's just my own sort of word for it.
Well, I must say, I appreciate what all of you do. Many in the church condemn it as devil worship and occultism, but I understand that it is God that has blessed you and not Satan. I just wanted to clear that up in case you were concerned. People are intimidated in front of a man of God sometimes, and I wanted to make sure that your group is not going to feel that way.
Oh, well, I so appreciate the clarification. And yes, we have unfortunately run into some people who don't quite understand the gift that it is, but I am so pleased to see that you and I are on the same page.
Indeed. Well, before we eat and start discussing business, Miss Doyle, shall we pray?
Oh, yes, most definitely. I love nothing more.
He reaches out his hands to hold your hands across the table.
Okay,
and then he bows his head. Our Lord that art in heaven, and he says a quick prayer over the food and blesses safety in the food that you're about to eat in your travels. Amen.
Amen. That was a beautiful prayer. I don't often have the pleasure of working closely with someone in the priesthood, but I just feel so blessed in your presence.
Oh, it is God above that we are blessed by, not myself, Miss Doyle. But enough on religious talk. Let's speak business now, shall we? Please, I made this food myself. I hope you enjoy it. Any questions I can answer to aid your investigation, I'm at your disposal before we depart.
Yes. Well, first of all, I would just love to know what it is that made you suspect in the first place that your dear friend's death was not, well, a suicide as they first attributed it to be.
Well, first and foremost, if somebody goes and dies on Wrecker Isle, you must suspect the family that lives there. You see, they pretend to be upstanding folk, but me and my mentor, we knew better. They made their living as wreckers, I know it. They used to salvage ships that they would force to crash, murder the crew, and take their belongings. A bunch of sinners and heathens over there. So my dear friend, he went over there to try and talk some sense into them, bring them to God. A happy man, not a violent man, a man who believed in God, not sending himself into Satan's arm at the end of a barrel. He would not do that to himself. I knew him quite well. It doesn't add up. And if he did do such a thing to himself as the coroner suggests, well, then it must have been the work of devils.
I see. Sorry, I'm getting some chat, then maybe we're getting stuttery. Are we okay, chat? I'll just wait for a second for a response.
Looks okay to me by what I see on my perspective, but
Okay.
yeah.
I'll keep rolling unless I see otherwise in chat. I see. Gosh, okay, I'm kind of drawing a blank. So, friends, is there anything you want me to ask this guy?
It's kind of weird, right? Like, because it is just like, he's already told us what he thinks, which is his letter that's like,
Yeah, he
my
doesn't seem
friend
to
went
have
to the
much
Isle.
like solid evidence.
Yeah, he just
You know?
doesn't. He just, shock horror, thinks there are some devil worshipping anti-Christians living on an island, and they're to blame for everything. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you'd have anything to say, unless you'll ask, like, get info about the guy
The
who
vicar?
died, the vicar.
Yeah, that's a
Maybe,
good
like,
idea.
Tell me his favorite type of herring. You know, like,
Yeah,
maybe get
yeah,
some
okay.
info on him.
Okay, I've got an idea. So, this vicar, did he have previous interactions with the family on Wrecker Isle?
Well, he used to be quite familiar with the father of the family there. His name was Benjamin. But Benjamin died under dubious circumstances some time ago. I don't remember how long ago it was now. Perhaps 30, 20 or so. Before my time, but my mentor remembers it quite well. Now, he apparently just suffered some sort of tragic accident, heart attack or the like. But we know better. His youngest son, Zacharias, did it. Calls himself the Herring Baron. Rumor has it that he beat his own father to death.
That's a ghastly rumor.
It is. Now, you see, this is the only reason that my mentor went there with a gun. He brought a revolver because he knew the family was known for being dangerous. He did not bring it with any intention to end his own life, I assure you that. And
I
mind
see.
you, the weapon was never found.
And this Benjamin and the vicar, did they have a positive relationship? Was Benjamin more upstanding than the rest of his family, or was he like all the rest?
I tread lightly to not sound judgmental of Benjamin, but he was not what you would call a very stand-up Christian, but a Christian nonetheless. He believed in God and met with my mentor on visits of religion, and perhaps it was just out of formality, but the man believed in God and was much better than the rest of his family that's left behind.
I see. Oh gosh, I had one other thought and it just left me with my note taking. If anyone else has thoughts, feel free to jump in. But actually, I remember now. I noticed in your message to us that you had plans to go confront this family.
Yes.
Is
I cannot
that...
let it stand.
Of
And I
course
understand
not.
that it is a bit foolhardy of me, but
if it's God's will that I die on this endeavor, then it's God's will. But I felt inclined to reach out to all of you, and I believe that that was God guiding me for a shield. I believe you, Miss Doyle, and your friends are the shield that will protect me.
I see. Well, I do applaud the courage. If you believe that God is willing, perhaps you might give us an opportunity first to investigate a bit more and see what we might be able to turn up before you resort to taking it straight to them, as it were.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me, Miss Doyle. I don't plan on doing anything bold-headed or foolhardy, but I have prayed much on the matter, and I will be joining you on the Isle. I am meant to be there. I don't know for what yet, but I will be accompanying. You said you're splitting from your group. I will be either be joining you or them, whichever you think best.
I don't think it would be very pleasing to your sensibilities as an upstanding man of God to have to participate in deceit, such as I will be doing. For the good of all, of course, you understand, but I wouldn't want to put you in an uncomfortable position, so perhaps it's best if you accompany the rest of my companions.
Very well. Well,
And while we are there, I would request that you do not initiate contact with me unless I do so first, just because we don't want to risk blowing my cover.
I understand subterfuge as it is. I won't say a thing.
Excellent. Well, I think I've gotten all the information that I can at this point.
Were you eating the food and drinking the drink?
Why would he even ask a question
I don't like
this?
that
Just gotta see
question.
how polite you're being.
What if you say? What if you say no, and then he's
Yeah.
like, "You die of starvation later." He's trying to trick you into not eating poison, and therefore
Yes,
you're going to die of hunger.
I think I actually did think of this, Chase, before you asked me, but the conversation kind of kept rolling. I didn't know if there was like a vigilance check. Constance did want to kind of check her, like as he's serving her, just to make sure he doesn't like slip anything.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
Could you
You
guys
never
make a touch the bones emote for moments like this? Do you touch the bones? Chris, do you touch the bones? I want to touch the bones.
Do we have any dice? We've got some cursed dice and some blessed dice. I don't know. I feel it. I'll just roll it straight.
Just roll it. Touch the bones.
All right. No successes.
Yeah, you didn't see anything, but you got pretty wrapped up in conversations. So
Yeah. I feel like he's probably okay. Constance is doing what she needs to be polite, but I think
the
I
food's
don't know
very
how
good.
good is the food. Oh, okay, then sure.
It's
she'll
tasty
eat.
pastries. One of them
Oh.
savory with some salted fish, and the other one filled with some berries and cream.
Yeah, she'll eat. Oh, you know what? Actually, I do want to ask him one last thing. She'll take a piece of paper from her notes. Well, I'm sure she has this sketched actually already, but she'll show him the scorpion and skull symbol. Are you familiar at all with this symbol?
You know, that does look familiar. I can't pinpoint from where. Why do you ask?
Well, it seems it's associated with this family, and we're just trying to follow any leads that might be relevant.
It's their family tattoo. They all share one. Yes, I do recognize it. They have a tattoo of them.
Yes, that's correct. I was just curious in your great and deep knowledge of the Bible and other such spiritual sources, if you've ever come across it in your studies or anything of that sort.
I can tell you it's an abomination of the flesh and a sin, but I do not believe it has any significance aside from a family memento of sorts.
I see. Well, thank you for weighing in. I'll just tuck that away. All right, that's all I want to ask him.
I won't interrupt with your preparations anymore, but if you need anything from me before you depart, feel free to reach out.
Of course, most certainly. And I'm sure my companions are looking forward to meeting you tomorrow.
A pleasure, Miss Doyle. And he'll see you out. All right, Constance, you are in town. Are there any other final preparations you would like to make before you head out?
Yeah, I'll
ahead of
leave. I
everybody
want to
else?
leave word at the ship. Like just leave a message for the rest of my group.
Okay.
That I'll just sort of summarize, like very, very briefly summarize the exchange, and most of all, give them a heads up that this guy's crazy religious and will not work with quote sinners. So, present yourselves accordingly.
Excellent. Okay, very good. All right, you have one final decision to make before we jump to the other group. So now you have arranged potential travels with a ship here, and there are several options. There's a lot of traffic here of ships going in and out. Some of them look more official, maybe Navy vessels, more upstanding looking crews. Some of them look a little bit more shady, potentially freelancers or maybe even pirates. Do you want to try to grab a shadier looking crew or a more upstanding looking crew?
I would like to hang out maybe for a little bit on the docks, kind of get a feel for it, and I want to listen for talk of the family, like if there's a ship going to work specifically for them, or like wrapped up in their business or anything like that. That's the kind of crew I want to get tangled up with. So I'm going to go out on a limb and guess that's probably one of the shadier ships and not a Navy vessel, but I'll roll in with whoever I have to.
Yeah, why don't you roll me an observation?
Okay.
What will it be?
One success.
One success. Excellent. Yeah, so you do overhear one ship over talking about the family. As you're eavesdropping, you see that there is a captain, a woman with long red hair, very extra hat with feathers coming out the top, dressed in very nice fancy sailor's clothing, talking up with her crew. And she seems pretty upset as they're loading up crates. Get that on the ship faster. I hate seeing this damn woman. Godmother's going to rip us off more and more every year. Herring is plentiful and she's driving up her prices. I don't afford to stay at her inn anymore. And you just hear her generally griping about the godmother and the way she does business.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and get in with that crew.
Okay.
I don't necessarily have to get in as like a laborer, but just I'll secure passage, whatever works.
Excellent. And you already kind of took care of that on downtime. So
Yeah.
your travel is arranged. And
I'm going by Danny Smith here.
Okay. I like it. Very good. All right. So you get on that ship and you depart, and we'll go over those details in a moment. But for now, let's jump back to the rest of the group. So Constance is long gone. You guys are arriving in Fjallbacka. What are you guys doing when you arrive?
I mean, do we have any thoughts? Are we also going to go see the priest?
I mean, we could go see him for ourselves. We're all kind of sinners, though.
But he does not need to know these things.
Oh,
Here,
of
I
course.
will find. We can talk only in Bible verses.
Come on, Katrina. If Constance passed,
That's true. That's true. Just I don't feel like Katrina's very good at lying. But let's do
Galen,
this.
as you roll up, you do see your grand, beautiful ship at the
look
dock
at
ready
it.
to go. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what it looks like?
It's just a big kind of that like yellowy gold coloring you got on a lot of the ships from the 17 like all the every time it's like a naval ship in like Pirates of the Caribbean. It's that beautiful kind of golden yellow color. That's the ship sitting there in the dock. Big beautiful flags of the Swedish flags flying all across the masts. It's a big ship. I'm pretty sure this ship when we're looking up had a lot of cannon capacity as well.
A lot. Now,
It's-
your ship
it's
is not
decked
decked
out.
out as much as it can be with cannons. Like there's some empty ports. You got the
Yeah, it's
starter
fine.
package here, so it's kind of a skeleton crew. There's room for upgrades, but
What
it is
we
still
will do
heavily armed.
is the classic thing that some of these ships did, which is some of the cannons are fake. Like some of them are just like the metal rims inset into the wooden framing to look from any kind of distance, even kind of up close, like there are more cannons than there are, because cannons are more about the appearance of violence than the actual violence. People don't want to get shot by a ship, so you got to make it a lot of fake cannons, a fairly small crew, but the ship it's a beautiful large ship rising out of the sea, and in an archipelago like this, just a little bit way too big. Like you'd want, like everyone else is in fishing boats, and they're probably a little bit more practical getting from like in between small channels. But even then, these ships they don't ride too low, so you can still take it around. It's just absolutely dominating the town that it's next to, and I'm so excited to finally have a big old giant ship. It's very exciting.
Yes.
There's some crew up there waving who are already on the ship who helped get it here, and as we arrive, Galen's just very excited in a completely like non-calculating way. He's just a little giddy that there's a big giant ship. It's
that
like,
childish excitement.
yeah, it's just like, it's like kids who are like, oh, I'm gonna have like it's like when you get a kid and then you're like, hey, I'm gonna sit you in like the seat of this like crane on a work site. They would just be like, wow, a crane. And Galen's a little bit like that. It's like, oh, look, it's so beautiful. Look, look at the flags fluttering in the wind. He's very happy to see the ship. And so I believe probably also says, look, I ask, do we really need to talk to the priest? Maybe we get straight on the boat. Maybe
And
we
what-
can just go straight to the boat and have fun on the boat.
Well, that would be entertaining. I don't know how that would help us in our investigation.
Yeah, yes, this is true. Okay, so we shall talk to the priest. Maybe we invite the priest onto the boat where we can eat there.
Perhaps the priest could meet us on the boat. Yes.
Yes, we will send an invitation to the priest. Robert, you knock on the door of the priest.
Yes.
You say we will invite him for a grand feast in the captain's quarters.
I'm on it.
Yes, okay, this will be much more enjoyable.
You can see somebody on your crew sees you guys rolling into town and comes running down excitedly. Mr. Forscara,
Yes,
an honor
yes.
to serve you.
Oh, it is an honor to be. I don't know if I should also salute. I will wave. Hello. Yes, it is also an honor to be served by you. Are you excited to wrest the control of the seas in our beautiful vessel? To
Aye,
take to the
Captain.
water and sail the archipelagos of Norway in a quest for vengeance and righteousness.
Are we going to war?
Every journey is like a small war that we are participating, and not just on a boat. All journey. This is the first. Take this down. This is. I don't know if you can write, but if you can, take this down. This is the first piece of
Scrambles.
advice your captain will give you.
Parchment.
All journeys are a form of warfare, with yourself and with the world and with God. We are going to war with God.
he looks a mix of excited and kind of terrified. Okay. Speaking of God, sir,
Yes.
there was a priest that wanted me to reach out to him when you arrived.
Oh yes. I already sent my man to contact this priest. Thank you so much. But we are one step ahead. This is the first step. Much like the have you read the Eastern classic of Sun Tzu's Art of War? It is an important read. All journeys are like warfare, and the first step is to know your enemy. We knew this priest would want to meet us. We have already met with him. We have sent.
Wait, the priest is our enemy, sir?
No, you don't. This is a philosophical stance. He is not your enemy. He is your friend. But friendship is a form of warfare. Don't you understand? All elements of your life can be seen as a contest and a struggle between your one half of what is of you and your friends, and the other half of what could be, and you are fighting complacent. It's a very complicated thing, but just remember to always strive to improve yourself.
He runs over to a barrel. He takes out a scrunched up piece of parchment and a big old hunk of charcoal. Is scribbling notes the best he can.
Yes, this is good. You are on your way to being the first mate. It is a long journey, or should I say, a long campaign, a military campaign of war after war after war as you journey to self-improvement, fighting the demons of your old self and gaining victory over your soul.
He looks excited.
I
Okay,
understand now.
I'll go ready this ship. Follow me, sir.
All right.
Sirs.
Yes.
He
yes,
salutes to Robert
salute.
and Katrina
This
as
is
well.
he's your bosun. This is your first mate.
Aye, sir. Yes, follow me, everybody. He goes leading you guys up the boat. He readies the ramp. You can hear him run ahead of you and talk to his people. I think we're going to war. I think we're going to go fight. I don't know. People salute, and it's a pretty skeleton crew. They all look pretty green, but it's enough to function the ship. In terms of statistics for your ship, you guys have access to cannons on the ship within reason. You guys have supplies for a general journey out to sea. You have some supplies to not let you starve for quite some time. Now, in terms of the ship, it is an entity that has health and conditions, kind of like a Vaesen does. I've actually made a deck for it of conditions. So if your ship ever suffers damage, I'm going to draw conditions from a deck to see what happens to your ship,
Sick.
applicable to how it happens. Other than that, it's just like any other vehicle. It'll get you around and you can fire cannons from it.
Beautiful.
Okay. So you guys board the ship shortly after Oscar Udgren comes walking up the ramp. He has a backpack, and everybody can make me a vigilance.
Ooh. He's brought a knife. Vigilance.
Can I use my dog?
No, I don't think it'd be
That's fine.
applicable for this one.
Let's
Okay.
just searching for drugs. I got 2 successes.
Got one.
You guys
One.
all crushed it anyways. All of you notice that it looks like he's tried to kind of cover it in the folds of his robe, but he also has a revolver on the belt of his robe.
Katrina, do you see he has brought a gun?
I suppose it only makes it fair, considering how many guns we have.
Yes, maybe this is a cool priest.
Hmm.
It is interesting that a priest would need to arm themselves. I thought holy folk were generally peace-loving.
Yes, but I suppose the death of a friend can turn people into new things. Oh, yes, hello.
You must be the society.
Yes, I am Captain Galen Frisquera. This is Bosun Robert, and this is First Officer Katrina. Welcome to our vessel.
Yes, your reputation precedes you. I've met with Miss Doyle, ahead of all of you.
Yes.
She left yesterday.
Oh, good. I'm sure she has finagled her way into a position of some influence over there. She's good at this very quickly. So
I hope that she went with God.
Of course, she went with God. We said prayers before she left. I also fed her a meal. I didn't prep one for any of you because I didn't know when you were going to be arriving.
Did she eat the meal? Did she eat the food and drink the drink?
She did.
Okay, it's good to know. I just wanted to ask.
Well, are we ready to set out sail?
We are not quite ready to set out sail because your hospitality in giving a meal to our friend when she arrived is to be rewarded now, much like our soul's hospitality will be rewarded in the kingdom of heaven. So we have a feast for you here aboard the boat. Please come to the captain's quarters. Before we leave, we shall feast on salted herring and pickled herring and various other shapes of herring, because I believe that's the only food you have here in Fiarbaka.
Herring is definitely the central trade. I've had my fair share of herring. I make herring tarts, in fact.
Well,
Sounds
we will
awful,
see
but
what the
tastes delicious.
greatest chefs in this town can produce. I have ordered ahead of time. So please come and feast with us and tell us all about stuff.
Yeah. He'll sit down with you guys and enjoy a feast and
Father,
small talk. Yes.
would you please bless our food before we partake?
I am so glad that somebody said it. I always feel slightly uncomfortable having to be the one to propose it. A woman of God, I see.
The godliest.
Father, speaking of propose, I mean, there wouldn't be a special lady in your life, would there?
A special lady in my life. Can't say that there is.
Just wondering.
No. I try to keep myself focused on God above romance.
All right. Good to know. Good to know.
Katrina just pulls out a pen and writes down a little a romance novel concept real fast. Just a scrap of paper.
And Robert, you can roll
tried
an
to focus
observation
on
if you want.
God, but
Robert, you can roll
observation?
observation.
Oh yeah, you can roll observation if you'd like, Robert.
Oh, okay. That's one success.
Wow, yeah. He sensed a little bit of untruthfulness when he says that. His eyes shift a little bit. He looked a little bit uncomfortable when you asked the question.
Oh.
I mean, this is presumably a Catholic priest, right? So he's not allowed to have women in his life.
Right.
So, but also probably not. Also probably not allowed to take a gun.
Well, are we all children of God at this table then? I mean, I know we are, but do you believe it?
Oh, of course. Everybody loves God, his good friend Jesus, and all of those guys. You know, like Matthew and Mark and Luke. Also John. Oh, John. Gotta love John.
John's my favorite.
Well, interesting. I'm a Luke man.
He smiles. He looks absolutely delighted. Miss Nordenflicht, was it?
Yes.
Would you like to say
Officer.
grace?
I wouldn't. When I say grace so often. I would hate to deprive myself of the opportunity to hear you say grace.
Yes, please, Father, do us the courtesy. We would love to hear how you say grace.
Katrina
everybody
is
join
sweating.
Hands. He'll do a hand circle. Everybody will participate.
Oh, her hand is dripping with sweat.
Lord that art in heaven, and he says a prayer, blessing safe travels and the meal that you're about to eat, and for safety for Miss Doyle. Amen. Well then, let us enjoy this feast and then we can set sail. I do appreciate the hospitality, but I must be honest, I fear for Miss Doyle's safety out there on her own, and also I would like to get to the bottom of the death of my friend.
Yes. Oh, of course, we will leave soon, but it is good to remember. As they say, every journey is like a battle, and you must you must feed your troops before you travel out onto the field of war. Of course, I talk only about the philosophical war within ourselves, within good and evil, as you of course know. As
yes,
1800s
soldiers of
Catholic
God.
priest. Yes. Oh,
Indeed.
if only there was a crusade still. We ourselves could go and take the Holy Land from those infidels.
Whoa.
Father, this is what priests like, right? They like crusades and things.
No, Father, a question. What do you think of people who must defend themselves? Is that a time where harm can be done to others?
If you're defending yourself, then yes.
What if you're defending a concept?
Defending a concept?
Yes.
Could you explain?
No.
I'm so sorry. She has brain damage. She cannot explain. Sometimes you must just go with her. You just nod your head and agree.
I'm so sorry, child.
Recently, a big storm happened, and she hit her head, and you can see the scar right there. Katrina, show him the scar.
Of course. I forgot to draw my scar today. We're just going to do that right here.
You see, it is quite present. Sometimes it disappears when you're not looking, but occasionally it reappears, and you can see the scar.
Listen, I would like to be very forward. It seems like I've heard a lot of talk of violence on the table, and I understand that I believe my friend was murdered or taken by some sort of devil or something horrible. But if it can be avoided, violence should be the final answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
First and foremost should be trying to bring them to God.
Of course.
They can be forgiven for what they've done if they can find God. Second, try to bring them to justice.
Of course.
And if it absolutely must come to it, then violence to protect yourselves, of course, but only to protect yourselves, please. I don't want any more harm done on my account.
Have you ever done harm to someone?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Haven't even gotten so much as fisticuffs.
Can I do an observation? I'm watching him. I want to know if he's telling the truth right there because he's armed. Is that an observation or vigilance?
Observation.
Okay. I'm not super great at it, but here we go. I got 1 success.
Yeah.
He seems truthful as far as you can tell.
Okay. Okay, cool. Cool.
Well, Father, if violence is not something you are accustomed to, this is very reasonable. But perhaps it means that when the time comes, you should give that thing to Robert here. He might know how to use it better than you.
Oh, you noticed that.
We are good at what we do, Father.
No offense, but aren't you all already armed?
2 guns is always better than 1 gun.
Well, you see,
But 1 gun in the hands of someone inexperienced can be worse than no guns whatsoever.
I must
As
be
they
honest,
say in Paul's letters to the Corinthians.
that is
Love is patient,
true.
love is kind. Don't fire a gun if you have not trained with it.
Why don't you roll me a
Anyway,
manipulate?
right in there.
It's the 11th commandment.
Yeah. Do not worship false idols. Do not fire guns without proficient training. My manipulation is 3 with the capacity for a +2 if he knows who I am. And I feel like he does.
If you want to use that's your advantage.
No,
right?
that's not my herring purchase. My +2 from my talent I took last level of being famous.
Oh yeah, he definitely knows who you are.
2 successes. Give me that gun.
Nice.
He pulls the gun out. The safety's not on. It's very unsafe. He kind of points in your direction and hesitantly pulls it
This
back.
gun?
I just must. He'll hand it over to you. I must be honest, though. My friend and mentor was killed in this location, allegedly. Do you think it wise for me to travel without any way to defend myself?
No, Father, we are the way you defend yourself. You travel with us.
So I'll be staying with you the entire time, then.
Yeah, why not? This was fun. We can do this again.
I would feel safer that way. Thank you.
All right.
Well then, any other
Let's throw him
questions you
overboard
have
now.
for me? I must admit, I get a bit seasick, so I would like to go lay down if that's okay while we travel.
What kind of person gets seasick? Only weak losers would ever get seasick. Only big, dumb idiots that nobody likes would ever get seasick. This is crazy talk.
Also, don't lay down, Father. That makes it worse.
Lay down, Father. Just lie with your eyes closed.
Perhaps we
feeling
can
the
find
ship.
you a hammock to add an extra sway to the
The
motion.
hammock keeps you safe when the ship sways. You're like a gyroscope.
Oh.
Is that supposed to help?
We don't. Yeah, probably. Who knows?
It's our first time on a
I've
boat.
never been on a ship. I did it for 2 years, but that was like 50 years ago, so I do not know
Boats
anymore.
barely existed.
Back
Captain,
then, they
I'll
didn't
take
even
care
have
of the.
boats.
I can take care of the priest, sir.
Oh yes, please, you. Wait, let me look at your beard for 1 second.
It's very
Yes.
weak, just like a little mustache and a little bit right.
Okay,
here.
yes, you can look after the priest. I trust you.
This way, Father, and he'll walk him off. All right, you guys are setting sail for Wrecker Isle, yes?
Yeah, I think so,
Yeah.
right? There's nowhere else to go. I
Fantastic.
just want to go to Graveyard Isle.
Yeah,
Maybe
these
later.
are the isles here. So
I love these
Alright.
isles get like less nice as you. It's like go to Whale Isle, beautiful. Heart Isle, oh lovely. Maybe Carp Isle, oh what a cute little isle. Wrecker Isle, oh that sounds dangerous. Graveyard Isle, like it just
Yeah.
gets real. It just suddenly there's a sudden turn.
Mhm.
yeah, you know, you guys are going to the Wrecker. All right, Constance, let's jump back to you.
Hey,
you
really quick, Chase. Sorry. Could I use my talent? Maybe you can work this in as you're going to, but my well-traveled talent to
Mhm.
create an NPC on Wrecker Isle?
yeah,
Ooh.
if you want to.
I do
You-
want to.
You choose when to do that, and yeah, we pull that out on the spot. So
I'm pulling it out and throwing it in your face.
excellent. We're not at
Saying
Wrecker
deal
Isle
with it.
quite yet, though. So
Okay. Well, I wanted to give you a heads up so you would at least have like a couple of moments to prepare.
yeah, I love it. Thank you. All right. You're on the ship. Now, are you trying to be friendly on the ship or are you trying to lay low? The crew is quite unsavory. You're getting some looks and some jeers. Nobody too aggressive about it. If the captain catches anybody
Yeah, I feel
being
like this captain
inappropriate,
is gonna
she
throw
smacks
people
them in
off the
line.
ship. Yeah. What's like the vibe? Are they friends here, or are people like meanies? Like,
So the captain is like the scream at everybody captain. She's very nice to you though.
oh, probably because I paid her. Or do I get a sense of why that is?
You can roll an observation.
I will.
She's a woman in a man's world. It's like to have another woman
Maybe.
aboard.
Maybe. All right. I got 1 success.
1 success. You've noticed that every time she's scolding everybody else for drinks, she kind of sneaks an inappropriate look herself. She definitely seems like she's into you.
Oh,
Wow. That's 2
Interesting.
so far. Goodness.
okay. So what's like the general vibe of this crew? Do they seem familiar with each other? Are they like?
Yeah, they're pretty well traveled. You can gather they all know each other by name. Even though the captain is quite brutal, they all seem to respect her. They're well oiled. Everything's going just fine.
Okay.
And the captain invites you up to stand at the helm with her while she drives.
Sure.
to
I think
catch up.
Constance decides her best defense here is going to be getting in good with the captain, because that'll ensure the rest of the crew like leaves her alone. So, sure, she'll play into it. Constance doesn't mind.
Fantastic. Roll manipulate. Let's see like the vibe of how much the crew actually likes you.
Okay. Am I cheating or deceiving here, or am I just sort of buttering people up
It's up to you. If you want to like do a different persona that's not yourself, you can.
Yeah,
choose to
I was
deceive.
thinking like Constance is going to kind of act lower. Like, well, not Constance is very high class, but she is accustomed to traveling around with Galen, and she can kind of blend in with that crowd.
She
So
does
like,
live with the richest man in Europe.
so she's gonna try and like be relatable and like sort of tap back into her roots of like just the low, street kid kind of, salt of the earth type of person here.
Like
I like
Elon Musk posting memes.
No, Constance travels with Elon Musk. She is not Elon Musk herself. That would be Galen trying to become one of these crew members. Okay.
Oh, man. Yeah, go ahead and roll that manipulate and feel free to use that talent if it applies.
All right. I shall do that. Oh, and I have my disguise. I should have rolled extra. That's okay. I got 2 successes.
Wow, you crushed it anyways. Okay. Yeah, the crew seems to like you quite a bit. Nobody really gives you the stink eye or anything. People seem a little bugged that you're getting such special treatment from the captain, but nobody makes really a big deal of it. As you're driving with the captain, you ever wanted to drive a ship? Have you ever driven a ship? I guess that's the first question.
I can't say that I have. Sure, why not?
Don't let this captain stand behind you and tell you how to put your hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, no, she just she gets the ship set on course. I've got a point where we need to go. Just hands here and here. Just keep it straight.
All right, Constance will do that, and she'll arrange herself in such a way that she looks really good at the wheel of the ship.
Excellent. Yeah, she's not like super intrusive or anything. She just kind of smiles. It's a thrilling feeling, isn't it?
Yes, it's like you're on top of the world.
Yes, exactly. Controlling something so large on something even larger. Taming the sea.
Matt is dying.
I did not enjoy that phrasing.
Oh, man.
This is like rolling levels. I love this.
Yeah, Constance is gonna she'll like the way she's going to play this, Chase, is she's not necessarily going to like increase that, like she's not going to like spur things forward, but she will like entertain the captain and sort of like kind of go at whatever speed the captain wants to go, both with
Like
the ship
mild flirtiness.
and then metaphorically, as well.
Okay. Okay, I like it. So, what's your name, if you don't mind me asking?
Denny.
Danny. Pretty name. What brings you to Wrecker Isle?
Well, a great deal of a great many things, but mostly I just wanted a change of scenery. I realized I was just doing the same old thing in the same old place, and I wanted a bit of adventure, I guess.
A
If
bit
you
of
don't think
adventure
that's
on
silly.
Wrecker Isle. I don't think adventure is ever silly. I just don't know if you're going to get the type of adventure you're hoping for on Wrecker Isle. You like the
Well-
smell of train oil and salted fish?
You have to start somewhere. Adventures aren't free.
Fair enough. Well, you're driving a ship. There's your first adventure, right?
Exactly. I'm already off to an excellent start.
Well, that's good. I'm happy for you. I don't mean this question to seem inappropriate. I'm more looking out for a friend. Do you have money? A good amount of it?
Looking out for a friend.
Well, you see, they only have a single inn on Wrecker Isle, and it's not so easy to get into these days. It's expensive. And if you can't get in at the inn, you're either going to be sleeping somewhere very unsafe, or you're going to be sleeping here on the ship with my crew. And only one of those rooms is going to be safe.
Oh, 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 oh.
Well, as I said, I haven't really planned too far ahead. I was sort of planning to make a plan as I went, sort of figure it out. Are you staying on the ship then?
We'll be in town for a couple of days. We do our trade. I stay here on my ship. I'm not going to get scammed at that inn. It's nice-ish, don't get me wrong, but it's not worth the price they charge. And for all they charge, it still reeks of piss, herring, and oil.
I've been hearing a great deal about someone called the Godmother. Does she run the inn as well?
She runs the entire island.
I see.
She's been doing it for about 30 years, as far as I understand. I've only been doing business with her for about 5. But the way that I hear it, herring business picked up. She seemed to have very good foresight into the matter. She purchased the island just before the herring increase started. And now she's the largest trading post for herring in all of the land around here. She also does trade in train oil, which is where the oil smell comes from.
When would you say the herring business started to pick up, if she had such good foresight?
Picked up about 30 years ago. She bought it just before then. So 30 and a quarter.
Chase, would that line up with what info I have about Benjamin's death?
Ooh,
Yeah.
He did
Okay.
die 20 or 30 years ago.
Well, lucky her.
Yeah, lucky, I suppose. Some people like to say she's some kind of oracle or something. I just think it's good luck, personally.
Do you buy into all that supernatural mumbo jumbo?
I believe my fair share of stories, but the only kind of hag that I think she is an old grouchy one.
I've heard some pretty dangerous things about her. That is, if you get on her bad side. I assume that from the fact you've been dealing with her for 5 years, you haven't managed to do that. But do you know people who that hasn't gone so well for?
Let me give you this warning, sweetheart. There's a lot of bad people on Wrecker Isle, and she's not the only one you have to worry about. I don't know if you can tell by my crew, the way we're armed. It's not the most savory of places. Can you handle yourself?
Well, I prefer to avoid confrontation when I can, but if there is no other option, I'll sort of flash the revolver I'm carrying.
Oh, thank God. I thought I was going to have to give you one of mine.
I
Yes.
might seem all doe-eyed and bushy-tailed, but I am a little more experienced than I might look.
That's good. You're full of surprises. I like that.
I like to keep people guessing when I can. Perhaps after we make sure, I can just let you know where I end up. It does bring me some comfort to know that at least one person won't be trying to, well, do me a bad turn on Wrecker Isle.
Yes, I would love to be your friend on Wrecker Isle. I'll make sure we stay in touch. If you don't mind there, I'm going to take the wheel from you. We're needing to steer. I don't want you crashing into an island.
You are
Yes,
aiming
would-
straight for that large.
I swear, go ahead.
What
Yes,
about
that
you?
would
Do
put
you
it down.
do you buy into any of these supernatural business?
Constance smiles to herself for a moment. I have seen enough to know that some things are more difficult to explain than we might prefer it.
So a fan of ghost stories.
You could say that. I've seen a few ghost stories up close myself.
You should reach out to my old friend if you see him around town. His name's Orvar. He's full of good stories, and he could use a friend. His only friend lately is the bottle, if you know what I mean.
Oh. I expect I'll find him at the bar then.
Most likely.
Excellent. Well, thank you for this education. And she'll wink and move away from the wheel. Also, I'm just assuming this exchange happened already, but what is her name?
She hasn't told you her name.
I didn't. Okay. Well,
Oh no, it's too late.
it is too late. It's awkward. I guess I thought that I would have asked when I paid her. But I'll just ask.
She would have told you when you paid her, you could just call me Captain.
Okay. By the way, I imagine there might be more than one captain on Wrecker Isle, and if we are to be friends, I prefer to be on more familiar terms. What can I
guess
call
since
you?
you're not officially part of my crew, you can call me Frida.
Okay.
You already told her your name, right?
Yeah, Danny.
Danny, right. Danny, let me note that down. All right.
I like the idea that her name's Catherine and you just misheard her the first time. You can call me Catherine. Of course, Captain. Of course I will.
Free to make, your,
What
free
a
to make
weirdo.
yourself comfortable, Danny. I'm going to get a bit loud here for a moment. All
Oh,
right,
I
you
don't mind
maggots,
loud.
get everything ready for a landing. We're going to be there within the hour. I don't want to see a single thing unprepared. And everybody starts scurrying around the ship. And you are approaching Wrecker Isle. The rest of you guys are trailing a day behind, so we will get to you shortly. But in the meantime, now feels like a good time for a break. So we are going to take a quick 10 to 15 minute rest, get ourselves some drinks, take care of some things, and we will see you guys shortly. So please stick around, and we'll be back. All right, welcome back, fellow geeks. Thanks for hanging around, letting us take a quick rest. We are back with Vaesen. Constance is a day ahead, heading into Wrecker Isle. Meanwhile, we are back on the ship with Galen, Katrina, and Robert. Now, you guys do not have a crew to entertain because the crew on your ship works for you. They give you all the privacy that you want. They take care of everything for you. So you guys have a bit of downtime here as you guys are sailing in. Is there anything you guys want to do? This is a good opportunity for research or any other various tasks you can think of that you could take care of on a boat.
Well,
you guys have some time.
in terms of research stuff, I want to first discuss something with the group. This is technically a little bit out of character because we don't know the things that Constance just discovered. but
Right.
but we're going to at some point. So I'd like, as a group of players, to look into this. I think this is interesting, right? We're still in that classic situation of we've got information on all of the various Vaesen that could exist in this area: sea serpents, selkies, mermaids, brook horses, krakens, and a dude called the Neck. And we're trying to like narrow down where things are at. And one of our like standout ideas that we liked was the mermaid, right? We like the idea of mermaid, like half mermaid children and all this other stuff, just as a bit of fun. But I think one thing that's worth noting is when you look at the stuff for mermaids, and I was looking through the others, and no one else has this. Mermaids sort of have like control over. They're all Aquaman, right? They're all like they're queens of the fish,
Right.
and you can see that both by like the little thing in our info that is mermaid rules over all creatures of the deep. And you think maybe, but that's a little vague. But then you also get stuff like she might repay acts of kindness with favorable winds or huge catches of fish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got mermaids who have the capacity to be like, here are more fish. Hey, you want more fish? Here are more fish.
Yeah.
And when we tie that into the additional thing of like the godmother having like a possible knowing when there was going to be a big herring boom on the island, buying it before the herring boom cheap, then there was suddenly a lot of herring, and she's reaping the benefits. Either she is the mermaid, or more likely maybe has some kind of relationship with a mermaid. Maybe she's captured one, maybe she's allied with one, but I don't know. That to me, there could be a mystery tied in explicitly to the presence of the herring, that this has not always been a herring place. It's like she came and went, oh, not many herring, eh? Better buy the island. Oh, lots of herring. Ooh, who could have seen that coming? I wonder if there is a mermaid who is controlling and helping that industry, either being the godmother, being coerced by the godmother, striking a deal with the godmother, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a thing, I don't know, mermaids are looking more interesting as the possible culprit. Slash, just
I agree.
around.
They don't seem to have any shape-changing abilities, though. So
No,
but yes. So I'm more on board with she's somehow in league with a mermaid. Rather
maybe that's
than
why
being a mermaid herself.
when we look at this, can we bring the art back up for these children?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because we can look at the triplets first, right? Look at these triplets. The older brothers are the triplets. Look at this creep.
Face.
Right? Angry, big,
He,
mean.
He
Oh,
has
angry, big, mean.
unkind eyes.
He has murder eyes.
And now let's bring up the younger brother, shall we? Good old younger brother Zacharias.
Yeah.
There's the younger brother.
That's the son of a mermaid if I've ever seen one. That's a secret mermaid child or a merman himself. There's something there was a change in the genetics somewhere along the line, because they do not look at all like each other. I think there's a mermaid child going on somewhere. Or maybe the three older brothers are the mermaid children. I don't know. But there's something weird going on.
There was also
there's a deviation in the formula.
Yeah. And the rumor is that Zacharias here is the one who killed his father. Maybe not his father? Are there maybe men?
Maybe he's a merman. Are there mermen? I'm going to do research into the gender relationships of mer people.
You actually already got that in your entry there. It does mention that they can be mermen occasionally.
Yeah. There are many mermaids. Okay. So there's a merman. There's an Ethel merman somewhere here. And I would like to do more research into merfolk.
Yeah.
And Ethel merman.
Okay,
nice.
Excellent. Yeah, so you want to do deeper research on that. Go ahead and roll me a learning test, Galen.
Can anybody remind me who Ethel merman is? All right, learning. I'm rolling learning. I'm going to add a bonus die of 2 because I've got my old scrolls.
Excellent.
And I got 3 of your human successes.
3 successes. Okay, so this is the thing here. So there is basically, with the text you have available to you, there's 3 more pieces of information available on mermaids that you can get. They increase in cost on the learning. So first one is 1, second one is 2 successes, third one is 3. So you got 2 of them. So go ahead, choose 1, 2, or 3, pick 2 of those numbers, and I'm going to give you that additional information.
Give us the odds Give me
The
1
odds.
and 3.
Okay, excellent.
Ooh.
So in your studies of mermaids/mermen, you do get quite a bit more information on their powers, abilities, dangers. Now, first of all, they are not a crazy, mighty Vaesen. They're not physically, I mean, they're still very strong, but not anything that's going to tear you to shreds like some Vaesen would. They are
not a
very
dragon.
Yeah, they are very adept spellcasters. They are capable of both enchantment magic and permanent cursing magic. They also are trained in trollcraft, which has its own line of different types of magic. Most notably, they have enchanted songs. And as long as a mermaid can sing, their magic is more powerful. Particularly, their enchantments are very powerful if they're able to sing and if people are able to hear them sing. You do learn in studies, though, that if people cover their ears and can't hear the song, it does negate the effect.
Okay.
They have very hard fish scales that protect them from physical damage. They're not immune to it, though it is they're very resistant to physical damage. Sure. Also, along with them being able to kind of be rulers of the sea, most mermaids have kind of a guard dog type powerful monster that will accompany them and protect them. And they also have the ability to transform into any marine creature. They cannot turn into humans, but they can turn into other marine creatures.
Okay. Now, does that include marine mammals or only fish?
Any kind of marine creature. They could turn into a dolphin, turn into a
what
whale.
about a seal? Because a seal can be water and land.
Could turn into a seal.
What about an Arctic tern?
Though here's actually an interesting bit of lore for mermaids. They often do not turn into seals because it actually offends selkies.
Oh, mermaid selkie fight.
Oh.
That's so respectful. I love
Wow.
that. Orange Asp has a
technically
great
I'm a
question.
sea lion today, not a seal.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sorry.
Can they turn into a sea
cucumber? Absolutely.
That is freaky. What about one of those shrimps?
You trick it into turning into a sea cucumber, and then it vomits all of its organs at you, as sea cucumbers do, and then you get it to transform back, and it'll be like, "Oh, my organs," and it'll die.
What if they turned? What if they turned into a herring and got caught and cooked, and they're on your ship right now, salted?
Every single herring's caught so far on Wrecker Isle has been a mermaid.
That is some problems. I feel like they should have fixed it themselves.
Excellent. So that's kind of their general abilities. Now, also, you've got these old scrolls, and in these scrolls, you find a piece of information that looks ancient, obscure, and this is a secret about mermaids.
Give me that secret, baby.
Mermaids require gifts to be thrown into the water to get along with people most of the time. The gifts that are thrown into the water must be important to those who offer them. And they can sense whether or not it's a true sacrifice. They know if it's important to them. And if they cannot sacrifice something important to them, human sacrifice is usually acceptable.
Like Benjamin.
If things are thrown to the mermaid that are not important to them and not human sacrifice, then they might find themselves cursed or find their ship attacked by some great creature later on.
So, like, when we pull into the harbor, we should make a sacrifice to the waters?
Yeah. Why not? Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe not right in front of the priest, though.
Yeah. Also, we don't even know if it is a mermaid yet. Maybe is it like, do you just give it to the sea, or do you have to do it in the presence of the mermaid?
You don't get that information. You just get that they often require sacrifices. You don't know how, but you know that they've got to be meaningful or human.
Yeah, and I'm just saying, mermaids' control of herrings, who created a herring trade at the same time that Benjamin Amundsen went missing. I mean, died, but I'm pretty sure he was a sacrifice to the mermaids. I'm thinking they're like, take my husband, please, and then they
or my father,
take my father. I'll throw him to the. This is the voice. Are you remembering this one, Chase? This is his voice. Take my father. I'll throw him to the waters, and you can have him. It's me, Zacharias Amundsen. Take my
Fantastic.
father. I don't need him anymore. I'm a grown boy, and I don't need a father like that anymore. You couldn't handle my father. My father is for the strongest, and you are of the weakest. Bit of
Is this
fun
how
contention
Galen
before we go.
theorizes to himself?
Yeah, this is me. You have to know your enemy. As people in the comments have said, research is like a war, like a battle with the books.
Oh man. All right. Katrina, Robert, anything you guys want to do with your bit of downtime that you have? It's not required, but it is an option.
Do I have the supplies to try and research Zacharias Amundsen?
To try to research him?
Yeah, like the who's
I
who of
want to
the
know
wild.
how long has he lived here? Was he raised here, type of a thing, or did he just kind of like appear one day as the herring baron?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and you probably have some supplies here. Galen's got his books. Go for
I
it.
reckon if we thought of this in advance, the church in
Mhm.
Falbarka would have like census records, local births and
Yeah.
deaths and marriages.
I could even just like talk to the people on this ship if they've been there before, and maybe I could do like a manipulation instead of a learning because of my brain damage.
No, this is definitely Galen's crew. They're not going to know any more than you
Okay,
guys.
that's fine.
Also, I've already exploited your defect, I'm pretty sure, for this mystery. So,
Oh, I didn't realize it was only once. I
Yep,
thought it
only
was
once
all
per
of
mystery.
the time.
no.
All right, then I'm rolling at a +2, folks, instead of a 0.
Fantastic.
Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum. No, I don't know anything.
Can't turn anything up about it. You just find the same photo that Officer Larson provided.
Okay.
All right, what about you, Robert?
And then you
Anything
think
for
longingly back to Officer Devin Larson.
Yes.
Can still smell a bit of his musk on the photo that he handed you.
Don't do this to
It's
Katrina.
pine.
Oh, more of a cedar fan. Sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh, snap.
And then you
All
think
right.
back to Horace the gardener.
There is
The smells of poison.
there's no words in the English language that can really capture the smell of Horus. It's a heinous thing to behold.
What about you, Robert? Anything you want to do on this brief downtime?
Can I talk to the father? I'd like to have some a private conversation with him.
Yeah, for sure. The father looks green in the face. He is having a hard time keeping it together. Robert, it was, right?
Yes, father. Are you doing okay?
Yes, I'm doing just fine.
Well, I just want to say I'm very sorry to hear that you're not interested in any ladies, because I know of a very, very eligible bachelorette. I just want to say, I mean, it's a shame. It's truly a shame. But how are you holding up?
Just fine. Thank you.
Good. I mean, I
appreciate you looking out for me, but as I said, religion must come first for me.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, it'd be against the rules for you to take a wife, right?
Yes, indeed.
I see. But just saying. I mean, if an opportunity presented itself, and say this person was a holy person, someone who was a gift from God, then you would accept that gift, right? You wouldn't push away a gift from God, would you?
He gets control of his gagging for a moment and kind of looks longingly off into the distance. I suppose I would.
Yeah. Has there been anyone like that who seems giftly or godly?
Why don't you roll manipulation?
All right. That is
Oh.
a fail.
Would you like to
We
push
have
it?
bonus dice, Matt. Take
Oh,
some bonus dice.
oh,
Be
6.
cursed.
Yeah, I'll throw
Or
some.
blessed.
I'll throw some 2 cursed dice in there. Okay,
Oh, so
and
close.
I'm gonna push that. So
All right, I like it.
I guess that'll be
5 dice?
5 dice 6.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
That's 1 success.
And
One
that was a-
success.
Curse dice, correct?
Yes.
Oh no.
You've caught me at my most vulnerable there, Robert.
I know.
Yes, there there is someone that I believe is a pure angel from God that I
Yes?
have had my eye on for some time.
Oh,
I am racked with guilt about the feelings that I feel for her, but I can't help it. I haven't acted or anything on it, but there is a woman from Wrecker Isle that I am very fond of.
from
I know her from my youth. We went to school together growing up.
Oh, that's very sweet. Would you mind sharing her name? Maybe I could put in a good word with you.
That won't be necessary. As I said, it's nothing I can do about it, but
Nothing.
I have a photo here if you wanted to see.
I would love to see. Please.
He'll pull out his Bible and he's got a photo wedged in the middle. Her name is Justina. And he'll show you
Justina.
this photo.
Justina's beautiful.
She's so pretty. She looks nice. She doesn't have murder eyes.
Doesn't.
She has a stern mouth.
Father, if I may, if anyone is a gift from God, maybe.
Well, you see, I'll be honest with you. Part of my motivation to go here to Wrecker Isle is she works at that inn there, that dreadful inn. I just wish to get her away from all of the sinners and deviants.
Ah.
My old friend, my late friend, he was going to try to do that for me as part of his visit there, and he didn't return, which makes me fear for her safety.
I see. So, Father, if say you had a friend who could do this for you now, would you give her a chance?
I don't think I can ever act on it. I would pray on it, but quite honestly, the most important part to me is just getting her somewhere safe.
All right. That's a positive step. You know what? I will take this mission, this quest from God.
I think it is a quest from God. I grew up with her, and I don't think that she's there on her own will. I think they're holding her there against her will.
All right. In that case, even more so, I'll do my best, Father.
Thank you, Robert.
Of course.
Now, if you pardon me, I'm going to go vomit.
Oh yeah. Good luck with that.
He goes running off.
I will run off too.
You both fall overboard. Sprinting. Didn't you see the sign? A lifeguard points to the sign. No running on deck.
Excellent. All right, let's go to another map. And Constance, we are going to jump back to you. Activate.
Constance activated.
Constance activated. Here we go. All right. Constance, you are sailing into Wrecker Isle as the sun is just down. Full moon bright in the sky, sea breeze washing over your face. It's been very pleasant up until now. The smell has been pure and clean from the ocean. But as you approach this island, there is a huge queue of ships. They are just stacked up. This port is quite small, much smaller than Fialbaka was, but there are just ships packed in waiting to dock, unloading goods, and you can see candlelight and torchlight off in the distance on the island with many bustling people moving about. The rise of voices is carrying all the way from the island to the ship. And most notably, just the strong smell of salt and fish and oil hits your nose. It's almost sickening. What are you doing as the ship approaches Wrecker Isle?
We're it's night.
It is night. You left
Okay.
early in the morning. It is now nighttime.
How much time does it seem like I have before like it becomes late night, like kind of dangerous hours of the night?
I mean, the sun went down maybe like a good half an hour ago. By the time you reach the dock at this point, it's probably going to be not so safe feeling.
Is the captain and her crew, are they gonna like dock and just like go to sleep, or are they going into town?
You can ask her.
I will ask her.
Yeah, she's shouting at people. They're getting ready. They put an anchor down as they get in line for the ship. You stay on that anchor. We're going to be raising it and dropping it. We're going to be getting to that dock as soon as we can. I want to get trade done.
So
hello
you're
there.
doing business tonight, then?
Ideally. The sooner that I can speak with the godmother, the more time we have to sway her prices up.
Do you mind if I accompany you? I just to further my education and my understanding of Wrecker Isle and its operations.
Why don't you roll a manipulate?
Okay.
Well, so let's take a look. What's our community goals looking like here?
Yeah, could I add an enemy to the island?
Let's see here. Okay, we've got 50% towards an adversary. All right. Noted. Roll me that manipulation.
1 success.
1 success. Okay. She smiles. Said you're looking for an adventure?
Sure, why not?
All right. I have a bit of a shortcut that I typically take. You see, I want to get in and have time to speak to the Herring Baron as well. Feel like doing a bit of acrobatics with me?
Oh.
She raises an eyebrow at that.
I've already learned how to steer a ship. Why stop there?
All right. Get us pulled into that ship. Close as we can to the one right in front of us. Don't you dare scratch my damn ship or I'll have your head. Everybody starts shouting back and forth, coordinating. You hear the anchor grind and raise up. And they pull the ship in like uncomfortably close to the ship in front of them. And this dock is just packed. People are impatient. You can hear ships scrape against each other here and there. You can hear people shouting back and forth at the ships. Some people turn and are shouting at your ship for getting too close. She's going to reach back and she's going to offer her hand.
Sure, I'm along for the ride at this point.
All right, keep up. Watch your step. And she's going to run to the front of the ship and she's going to hop onto the ship in front of you guys.
Oh. Okay. I'll try and keep up.
It's going to be like that
Excellent.
scene from Ferris Bueller's Day Off when he's going from yard to yard.
Yeah.
All right, I need you to roll me an
On that
agility
one
here.
ship where
Oh,
there's two women
no.
sunbathing,
Oh,
and,
no.
and you turn back and you introduce yourself.
I'm not good at agility. Okay, can I steal all the blessed dice, you guys? I don't want to fall
Yeah,
in the
go
water.
for it.
Yeah,
Go
You
for
have your
it.
free push, right?
I do have my free push.
Okay. You'll be fine.
Counterpoint,
believe in
if
you.
you fail the agility roll,
Okay,
you can
I
sink
will.
to the bottom of the bay and see the
See if
secret
it's a mermaid.
Yeah,
That's
den.
true. It's a win-win. I'm gonna use my free push.
Okay.
Do you have a free push?
Do we have a free push?
Oh, we do have a free
Yeah,
push.
we do have a free
Yeah.
push.
We have experience in a
One
free push.
success.
1 success wouldn't normally be enough. Like this is a little sketchy. This is very dangerous. But she's clearly practiced at it, and with her help and kind of guiding you, you're able to hop from ship to ship. And you guys just go sprinting past people that are yelling at you, shaking fists at you, jumping from one ship to the other. She occasionally grabs a rope and helps swing across to another one. some real swashbuckler level things.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Constance is legitimately having fun. Like when she gets over the initial like fear and awkwardness, she really enjoys herself.
Excellent. She's laughing along with you. She's having a good old time. And yeah, it feels pretty adventurous. And with the last little skip, you guys hop off of a ship, run away from some people that are shouting and cursing at you. And you're on the dock on Wrecker Isle.
You do that every time.
Only when I'm feeling impatient, which I am this time.
Oh,
Well,
gonna be
thank
honest
goodness
with
for
you.
that.
I've had it all the way to the bottom of the ocean with the godmother's shit.
What do you mean?
She just keeps getting more and more greedy. She came on that luck of herring, like I told you. Now she's monopolizing the market. Every time she makes more money, we make less. And somehow this harbor keeps getting more and more packed. She's taking advantage of everybody. I'm fed up with it.
Well, what I lack in agility, I make up for in a quick tongue. Perhaps I can help a little bit with the negotiations.
Well, that must be a talented tongue because your agility was up to par.
I'm just doing this for Matt and M's faces.
let's go.
If you'll have me along, that is. And my tongue.
That one even gets her to smirk and look away. Let's go and see if we can get the inn sorted out. And yeah, she's going to guide you to the inn if you'll follow her.
Yep.
All right, excellent. So Wrecker Isle is pretty barren, actually. So, I mean, despite the massive crowd of ships and the tons of people, it is very minimal here. As you walk up on the dock, what you see here on this map, this is it. There is just foot-made pathways, nothing fancy, very minimal trees planted. There's a very large yellow painted warehouse here as you walk by, and it's not labeled, but you can tell it's a warehouse just by the pungent, strong smell of fish and oil and salt coming from there. It is overwhelming when you walk by this building. It makes your stomach feel sick and turn over. It's so strong. And as you walk through here, it's just a huge crowd of people. It's like Las Vegas levels of crowded, just shoulder to shoulder, people bustling around. Nobody is polite. People bump into each other. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a vigilance?
Okay. Vigilance. Rolling. I did not get any successes. Oh, I want to push this. I kind of feel like it's important in a crowd.
Take a condition if you push now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We're early in the mystery too, but I haven't rested
You
yet.
haven't rested yet, and it is night.
Yeah.
There is a
Yeah.
juicy cursed dice there too.
Ooh, juicy curse dice.
I will push. I will push and take gosh, what would make sense here? I guess I'll take frightened. I don't know. I feel like frightened is a little strong, but I think Constance is maybe starting to feel like a little bit in over her head. And she's feeling the sense of like, oh gosh, I am all alone here. I don't really know. I barely know this captain. Oh, no successes. All right. It is what it is.
Okay. Noted. All right. Moving on. So you move through this bustling crowd here, and Frida will point things out as you walk by. So the family here, the Admondsons, this is their home here. She points to a very large manor with a little shed out front. They stay there. Everybody else has to stay in that much smaller building there, and she gestures to the inn. You would think it would be crowded and booked, but everybody stays on their boats because nobody can afford the damn thing.
How many rooms does it have?
Probably a good 50 or so. They buckle it in there really good, and that's the problem. Size of that building should not equal 50 rooms. They're small. They're not anything extravagant.
Goodness.
What?
And is Is that all? Constance like looks around the rest of the island. Is this all
That's
that's on here?
That's everything. Welcome to the adventure you chose of Record Isle. So many sights to see.
The idiot was in parentheses, Bill. Well, I am at your disposal. I don't know where else to go except follow you for now. So lead on.
Very well, let's go. She'll lead you inside the inn, and the inn actually smells pretty good. You still have that sickening smell of oil and fish seeping in, but you can smell fresh cooking inside. You can smell ale, and there's a bunch of people. It's kind of tavern style. There's a bar at the front where people are sitting and getting served up drinks. You can see. Why don't you roll me a vigilance when you walk in here?
I don't like all these rolls. Okay. I'll use a blessed dice to cancel out my penalty.
You can do it, Tori.
1 success.
Yes.
1 success.
Thank goodness you used it.
All right. Yeah, so there's a lot of people in here getting drinks and whatnot. There seems to be one person who is serving everybody up. She is sweating and breathing heavy and having a hard time keeping up. She's just doing the best she can. Doesn't seem like anybody else is really pitching in any work. She looks like this.
It's her.
Just
A
Tina.
woman you don't know.
Notably,
But I get the sense that her name is Tina. Just Tina.
just Tina. Yes. There is an old woman that you recognize from the photo as the godmother. You can see her sitting on a rocking chair in the corner of the tavern by a fireplace, smoking a pipe. She looks like this.
Oh,
And
wow.
then you recognize 2 of the triplets from the photo. Kind of hard to tell which is which, but you can see them standing at the back of the tavern, just by a wall, grinning and watching people. They look almost identical. The only way that you can even tell a difference is one of them, they're even wearing the same clothes. They're both wearing purple shirts with black overalls, beige pants. The only notable differentiation between them is one of them has a very nice silver pocket watch you can see on his pocket, and the other one openly has a fancy looking revolver with a cross engraved on the handle on his belt.
Oh, get out of here. That's the biggest gun.
And
Dang. Okay.
that's what you notice when you walk in.
Where's Frida leading us? Toward the godmother?
Yeah, so she'll kind of pause and she's gonna go step up to the bar and she's gonna just shove somebody away from their seat. You've been here long enough, move on. The guy kind of gives her a dirty look. Yeah, I've had my drinks. You're lucky. Yeah, lucky. And she sits down on the stool, and then she watches him leave, and when he moves away, she stands up and she offers you the stool.
Constance sits down, just increasingly more and more pleased with her decision to become friends with Frida.
Why don't you get yourself a drink? That lady back there, the old hag, that's the godmother. That's who I need to go talk to. I don't know if I want to bring you into that conversation at the moment. I've got some business to do. Don't want to get you on her radar, but the drinks here are good. They're safe. Despite the chaotic, they are pretty good with their cleanliness here, so feel safe to eat some food or get some drink.
All right. Well, as I said before, I am quite adept at negotiations. Should you require my services, I am at your disposal.
She nods. Oh, and I'd like to buy the pretty girl a drink. And she pulls a pouch of coins off and drops it in front of you.
Constance will like make a show of like blush, like, oh my no, you know, flattered.
She gives a wink and she's gonna walk and go talk to the godmother. The girl who's serving the bar comes walking over. What can I get you?
Whatever
You just sat
it is
down, right?
around.
I haven't asked you already.
No, don't
Okay.
worry, dear.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, what can I get for you?
Just-
Food? Do you have a room set up?
No, are there any available
There is, yeah.
for a fair price?
Yes. And she gives you a very extreme number that does not suit a room of 4 resources. Sorry, 4 capital.
So expensive. You could almost buy a cannon for that much.
I'm sorry. I know it's quite loud in here, but I did ask for a fair price. I'm assuming you're not the one who sets those prices, though. Am I correct?
I'm not. And sorry to not clarify. That's for the weekend.
Does that still seem
Yeah, it's
really?
really
Yeah.
extreme.
Okay. Yes, I'll think on that. Excuse me. Could I? Who are those gentlemen standing over there in the corner? I'll point at the 2 triplets. The 2 of the 3 triplets.
The duplets.
The duplets.
That's Pete and Pace. They're part of the Admonson family. They own this place. Well, their
I see.
mother owns the place. It's her son's. She gestures over to where Frida is talking to the godmother. That over there is Abella Admonson. She's the one who owns the establishment.
And what's your name, dear?
My name is Justina.
Are you the only one who works here? You must be swamped.
I am quite swamped, and so I'm so sorry to be rude, but can I get your order so I can move on to the next guest?
Well, as it happens, I'm looking for something to do here. Would they perhaps be interested in hiring another helping hand around here?
Oh, perhaps, yeah, you would want to bring that up to Abela over there.
Do you live here at the inn, if you work here?
No, I don't.
Oh, where do you live?
I currently stay with the Admonsons.
Oh, how fascinating. Do you have some sort of connection to them? Other than employment?
Well, I used to have to pay my wage to stay in the inn, but I've worked here for long enough that they gave me an honorary room.
I see. Well, I won't hold you up any longer. I don't want you to get in trouble.
Thank you. I'm sorry, did you order anything?
I'm quite all right, dear. Don't worry about me.
She nods and she walks away immediately. All right. So yeah, you can see Frida is talking to the godmother. And as you're sitting there kind of looking around, you suddenly hear a voice very alarming and loud behind you. The sea gives and the sea takes away. Soon it will take you too if you're not careful. And this gentleman
this guy.
is standing behind you all of a sudden.
Ugh.
Is he talking to me?
Yeah, if you turn around, he's staring right at you.
Oh my
Directly?
gosh.
He's kind of off balance, but he's staring right at you. He
Whoa.
reeks of alcohol. He smells flammable.
Constance kind of blinks and then settles. Oh, you must be Orva.
We met before?
No, a friend of yours told me that we might be friends.
You from the brothel over on Kef?
No. My name is
no.
Danny. I've just come into town.
I heard you're looking for work here. The sea's gonna take you if you take that up.
Why's that?
Don't let the sea get you, ma'am.
I don't plan on it.
He hiccups and he turns away from you and starts walking away.
Where is he going?
He
Like
looks
to
like
a
he's just
table
walking
or just
aimlessly to
out?
the corner.
Okay, that's fine. I just don't want him to.
He
leave
bumps into the corner
necessarily.
of the room and stumbles back, and then he just sits down in the corner on the floor.
Do people kind of give him like a wide berth, like stay away from him? or
Yeah,
do they
people
not
look
care?
like they're used to him walking around being clumsy.
Okay. I'll follow him. I'll go talk to him for a moment.
Okay. Yeah. He's just sat down in the corner. You're walking over there.
Yeah. Can I get a glass of water to
Yeah.
bring along with me? Okay.
Yeah, for sure. You flag her down. Justina gives you a quick glass of water and then moves on to somebody else.
Orva, I've bought you another drink.
You bought me another drink?
Yes,
What
that seems to
kind?
be something you like.
Did I win a game against you?
No.
Pretty sure you owe me 3.
How about you just drink it, and then we'll keep talking. And there might be more in it for you.
Yeah, he holds his hand out.
And she'll like kind of accompany him with the drink and basically make him drink it.
Okay, and this is the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sips it, and then he spits it out right in your face. That's horse piss. What are you feeding me?
Oh no.
I needed you to be a bit clearer for the questions I have. And then perhaps if you're helpful, I can buy you a real drink. And I'll jingle, like, right just in front of him, the little bit of coin that Frida got me.
You need me to... I'm very clear for questions.
Excellent. I would love to know everything you know about the sea and how it takes people. Why did you say that? Have you witnessed this kind of thing before?
Listen, you sea witch, why don't you get me a real drink and then we can talk like friends?
Well, I don't think calling me a sea witch is any sort of way to start out
Only
our
sea
relationship.
witches make a man go thirsty.
That is true, actually.
I've heard this. It's lore.
It's in
Yeah.
the info for mermaids. They're the only people who ever make a man go thirsty. So
Oh, for God's sake! She'll pull out a flask that has some fine wine in it.
Okay.
She'll just pour him a little bit in the cup. I have more where that came from, if you're useful. Now,
Wait, don't you pour that yet. He dumps the rest of the water on the floor. Get that horse piss out of there first.
right. She takes it and very careful, like over the top carefully pours some of the wine in, hands it over to him.
All right. Yeah, he'll take a sip of it. Oh, that's some good stuff. Where did you get that from? You are a sea witch, but the good kind.
Yes.
You could say that. Now, are you ready to be friends and be helpful?
Now we can be friends, but you're heeding my warnings. You know what's going on here. Come here. You're close.
lean in.
Constance like covers her mouth and nose as she leans in.
If you know what's going on here, then I got some things to say to you, but I can't say the things to you here.
Why is
I know
that?
things because they're watching. The sea serpents are watching.
Serpents. That's not a mermaid.
The sea serpents.
Mhm.
She'll kind of like point with her eyes, like look meaningfully over at the triplets and like the godmother.
You smell that? You smell it?
It's quite difficult to smell anything over your breath, but
That's not my breath. Mm-mm. Seaweed, rotting seaweed. That's the serpent seaweed hair. I'm saying too much. I gotta head back home tonight to Graveyard. Come visit me on Graveyard. I'll tell you all the secrets you want to know.
you live on Graveyard Isle.
Mm-hmm.
All right. My name is Danny.
All right, don't you go saying that name too much around here, Danny. Less they know about you, the better.
All right.
They can
Well-
take your soul if they know your name.
How do you-
They took mine. That's how I know.
All right. I'll visit you soon. I believe you, Orvar.
That's something I don't hear very much. It's mighty kind of you, Miss Sea Witch. So I'll remember your face, and I'll remember that fine taste in booze. You come visit me on Graveyard, and I'll tell you everything you know.
That's a deal.
He shakily and clumsily stands up. He catches himself on your shoulder. There's some strong stuff you gave me there. Lucky I don't mind being dosed by that kind of sea magic.
Very good. You have a safe journey to wherever it is you're going.
Mm-hmm. Graveyard Isle, don't you forget it.
I will not.
Get out of my way! And he pushes somebody in front of him, and he goes walking
I
out
thought he
towards
was
the
going
door.
to push me. I was like, "Gee." Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Okay.
As you finish up your conversation, Frida comes walking back to you, looking confused at Orvar. You met Orvar, I see.
Well, he met me more by way of shouting at me something about the sea taking me, and then we just sort of got caught up in a strange conversation.
I don't know if you actually met him at the moment, if you know what I mean. He seems pretty far gone tonight.
I suppose that's true. So, how did the deal go?
It went well. I've got a meeting with the Herring Baron tomorrow. You're invited if you want.
Oh, at your invitation or his?
Well, I just requested a couple of guests extra to bring.
I see. Yes, well, I'd love to join.
Figure you're looking for adventure. I hear he's a fine cook. You can enjoy a meal while I do some business.
That seems like an excellent plan.
Well, are you staying at the inn?
Well, you weren't joking about the prices.
Did you want to use your ability here?
I was thinking about it, but I feel like Frida is like providing all of the helpful NPC stuff that I would want in Wrecker Isle. So I think I might sit on it for now. Yeah, I'll so if you think there might still be room on your ship.
Well, there's room on my ship. Listen, I trust my crew to get the ship moving. I trust them to keep it from sinking. I don't trust them around a woman that they don't know on the ship. I do have my own personal quarters. If you're comfortable staying there, you're welcome to use my quarters for the evening.
If you'll have me.
I suppose you seem trustworthy enough.
I do come with my own liquid courage, as it were. I've got the wine still.
Oh, I've
Consider
got
it a fair
that in my
trade.
quarters. But
Well,
never
this
have
is
too
the
much.
finest from and then Constance catches herself not really wanting to say where she's from per se, but she'll just throw in some other place.
She smiles and she swipes it from you. Oh, that's my collection. Ship should be pulling in soon. Let's go wait at the dock.
Right.
I don't think we want to make the hop all the way back. It's more difficult that way, and people are already upset.
Yes, and as thrilling as that was, I do wonder if one was perhaps enough times for one night.
Fair enough. Save our energy for other activities.
Hey.
And she'll walk you back to the docks. All right. Anything else you wanted to do before this evening wraps up?
No, well, I guess I'll just ask Justina to maybe inquire about if they're looking for employment, like kind of leave a inquiry with Justina. I won't approach the Baron and all that stuff yet.
You would be a godsend. I'll talk to her about it. Will you be back tomorrow?
Yes, most likely.
I'll see what I can do.
Crew, is there anything else that we need to do? I don't really I'm not going to approach any of the Herring Baron people right now. That doesn't feel like a good move.
Sure. Yeah. No, I don't know. Just
I feel like actually at this point maybe you guys are in a better position to like meet the the godmother and all that stuff, because you're going to be rolling in Galen like a big, big money.
Yeah, big fancy guy.
X. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's all from me.
Excellent. All right. We will retire that evening then. We'll veil this. Will they, won't they romance, Constance? The captain will be respectful, but will inquire.
Oh, you're asking me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I mean, Constance has done more for less. So
Wow.
Love the phrasing on that.
Great.
but she is careful to stash her amulet away,
Okay.
like before anything happens. Actually, kind of any of her stuff that would like clue in, like, that's weird. Why do you have, these blessed eye drops? Like any kind of weird gear.
Yeah.
She's gonna just very carefully tuck that out of the way.
Okay. Noted. All right. Let's jump to the next morning to the rest of you. You guys left a bit later. You guys sailed through the night, probably had a nice rest on your fancy new ship. And you guys are pulling in the next morning, rolling up to this packed full dock. It is just as packed full in the morning. Though notably, as you guys are approaching, you can see a line of ships pulling out of the dock, making kind of a clear entryway for you.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good, because if they didn't move, we were just going to come in anyway.
All right, so you're going to roll straight up past some of the other ships?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, some of the ships that you sail by look pretty angry. You see people giving you dirty looks. Some people are giving you rude gestures, cursing at you as you go, basically skipping a huge line. And as you guys reach the dock and your crew lets a ramp down for you, you guys see Pace, Pete, and you see the godmother waiting for you with big, bright smiles on the dock as you guys come rolling down. So yeah, what are you guys doing?
I mean, I think we'd like. I reckon we just go out and meet them, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You guys all kind of rolling down like the authoritative crew of this ship?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and be like bodyguard status a little bit, while Robert's probably servant status. Trying to like just really upsell how much of a authority figure Galen is.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, you're walking down. The old woman puts her hands up in excitement. Well, hello there.
Hello.
Who do we have the pleasure of meeting?
My name is Galen Fuskera. I believe you are expecting me.
I do believe we are. I have to say, I haven't seen this glorious vessel grace our docks.
No, it is new. It was built only recently. Look at the beautiful hull. And I go, dong, dong. You can fit so much tuna in this baby.
Very extravagant.
Wait, herring. Well, tuna too.
Well, do you mind if I ask what's your business? Are you with a company? Are you with the Navy?
I'm sure you've heard of myself and my various
heard
businesses.
The name, but I just...
To recount exactly what my business entails would take too long. Suffice to say, one of my many endeavors is in the fish trade. Of course, I do not produce such as yourself. I rely on good people like you to do that part of the deal. No, I trade in fish. I will be selling everything I buy from you back in the mainland, back in Uppsala and Stockholm and Copenhagen and all across this beautiful land of ours in the mythic north.
And are you wearing your coat, Katrina?
Yes.
And I see you have military officials with you?
It is the only way to travel on these seas. This is Katrina. Please say hello, Katrina.
Nice to meet you. Officer Katrina?
Yes.
What's your rank?
Officer.
It's a little forward of you.
Sorry, curious. I don't know much about the military.
You can never ask a military person their rank. It's very rude.
Deepest apologies.
Yeah, I understand. Now, must inquire, will this location be safe for Galen Foscara to be staying here?
Wrecker Isle is run by the highest securities. My very capable sons, Pace and Pete here, make sure of that. She gestures to them. They're just grinning at both of you, or all of you.
I see.
They do look.
Be friendly. Wave, Pace, Pete. They grin and they wave. Now then, we assure Wrecker Isle is a wonderful place for the economy. It is just an absolute gem for merchants alike. So please, come join me at my inn. I will treat you to a meal, to a drink. We can discuss business.
This is a good idea. The rest of my people here, they will have to get things organized, secure the shipment, get onto the ground themselves. So if it is fine with you, I can meet you to discuss business and the dealings, and my crew here will set things up and organize the shipment.
Oh, please. If you need, I have many people who can take care of that for you.
Oh, I'm sure we will liaise together and figure this out. But for you
also,
and I, let us have a drink.
How very rude of me. My name is Abela Admonson.
Okay.
People here call me the godmother for some reason. I suppose it's because I founded this place. I am Wrecker Isle's godmother, I suppose they say. But it is a pleasure to meet all of your acquaintances.
It is wonderful to meet you too, Abela, if I may be so bold. You may call me Galen.
And you may call me Abela. Nice to meet you, Galen. Please join me at the inn. You guys can make vigilance checks, you three.
Yeah.
Where's my mouse? There it is.
Not my strength, but I shall give it a whirl.
2 successes.
Wow. That's amazing.
3 successes.
Dang! All right, yeah. So you guys also notice the pocket watch and the pistol on the belt and pocket of these two otherwise identical twins. You guys also hear the priest walking up behind you.
Ooh!
Oscar.
Can I quickly whisper to Robert?
Mhm.
Robert, please. I
Yes.
assume you saw the gun as well, right?
Right.
Keep the priest away. He will become incensed with rage if he sees his friend's gun on the hip of one of these people.
Very well. Yes.
Get him back below deck. Tell him we said before we would be his protection. This is a
Right.
moment we need to protect this man. Please get him below deck.
Very well. Robert will immediately grab hold of the priest and say, "Hey, there's something I need your help with on the ship, please." And very forcefully push him back towards the ship.
All right. Did we not land?
We did, but I need
Is
your
everything
help with
okay?
Yes, it is perfectly fine.
He looks-
I need your help. It has to do with what we discussed earlier. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
He nods and he'll agree and he'll go with you. Meanwhile, back at the rest of you, is everything okay?
Yes, this is what I know. I spoke of this earlier. This is my man beginning to get things ready on our side. Do not worry about this.
Very efficient. Love the speed and efficiency.
Well, I'm sure you understand how to run a business. You cannot be willy-nilly doing relaxing and letting our people just do whatever they want.
Do I ever?
But please let us adjourn to you say to the inn. Are you sure this is where you would like to meet, not in your own abode?
I have an office in the inn. That will be a good place to discuss. At least initially. Perhaps we can invite you to dinner this evening. But for now, let's take care of some business. And with your extra vigilance tests, as you guys are walking down the dock towards the inn, you guys notice a familiar face from the photo. This gentleman standing outside by the warehouse. He clearly takes note of all of you as you're walking by with his family.
The bloody herring baron.
All right. And as Constance is with the captain on the ship, and you guys are heading to the inn with the godmother, I believe for tonight, we will call that a session, as we were just about out of time.
Beautiful.
So Yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight, everybody, and letting us kickstart this mystery. Sorry we've been out for a couple of weeks. Super glad to be back at it. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about the awesome people we had with us tonight, and where you can find them on the internet and other places. So, Bill, let's start with you. Where can people find you?
Hey, I'm Bill. You can find all the podcasts that I do and the streams that I do. If you go to consumethismedia.com, you'll find all of my stuff.
Fantastic. And Bill's stuff is good. Highly recommend. Check it out. Matt, what about you?
Hey, I'm Matt. You can find me everywhere as Improv and RPG. Thank you so much.
Matt's stuff is also great. Highly recommend. Me, Em, and Tori, and also Katie in the background are the Level 1 Geek team. You guys can find us here. Anything you guys want to announce or talk about, Tori or Em, before we wrap up for the evening?
On Wednesday, Katie and I will both be back on VCG playing a cute little game called Household, where we play as littlings, little like brownies and stuff.
Oh, hello.
It'll be very cool.
Adorable. Very fun. What about you, Tori? Anything for you?
I'm just glad to be back.
Yes. And I think we're good for next week. Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
It'll be a good time. We'll keep this mystery rolling. I'm Chase. No special announcements for me. Yeah, I think that's all we've got for you guys tonight. So we'll see you next Monday. Again, the game we were playing tonight is Vaesen by Free League. Highly recommend it. Thank you, everybody, so much for the donations, for the chat interactions. We're going to be posting this episode up on YouTube on Friday. We have the entire series up. So you guys can check that out. If you're behind, catch up. It's been a very fun mystery. We've got the episodes nice and cleaned up for you. And if you guys wouldn't mind while you're over there, drop a subscribe. Tell your friends. We're trying to get that algorithm rolling. So anything you guys can do to help out, we would much appreciate it, because, you know, the more of that we get, the more we can keep making content for you guys. So yeah, that's all we've got for tonight. Everybody go take a long rest. Maybe go try going on a ship hopping adventure with a romantic captain. That's always a good time. And we'll catch you guys next week. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.